truth, or you're tired of being so confused. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop unfriend me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up all the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dude.
It's Red Friday, RED Friday, which stands for Remember Everyone Deployed. A movement designed to honor veterans and deployed U.S. troops by wearing a red shirt every Friday. As simple as that may be, Red Friday is a great way to back those who serve our country. Go to dumbshow.com and search for Red Friday to get your red on.
Hey, Matt, congratulations on your success, brother. And I really appreciate you giving, both sides, and just free speech, the opportunity to have a platform, dude.
Got it. You got it. Thanks for everything you've done for this country, Eli. We'll talk next time. Tell Jen hello, and I'll have this ready in a couple of hours, and you can share it and take a look. I thank you, man.
Thanks, brother.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys and gals. Don't want to assume your gender. Olivia here. I wanted to personally say thank you to everyone who has supported The Dumb Show over the years. Whether you like, share, tell a friend, or donate, it all helps more than you know. Tonight, we have an amazing guest, but sometimes y'all get so interested in the interview that you forget to donate.
Yeah.
Every dollar helps keep the show running, and most importantly, free. We never want our show to be behind a paywall like Candace does. To help out, visit thedumbshow.com/donate. Help us get into overtime. Thank you. And now on with the show.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show, folks. Matthew Speer from the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Olivia is here.
You like my new commercial?
Yeah, new commercial. Mine was "Give us money or God kills a puppy," but she didn't like that, so she had to put her feminine.
Feminine wiles.
Your feminine wiles and feminine influence on it. I like hers much better. Let's give him a rundown who's here, and then I got to do the intro. So you got 20 seconds. Go.
All right. Chris Martini is sitting in the green room as we speak.
Green room.
Super excited to have him. Next Friday, Tyler Fisher will be here, and that's going to be, we'll explain that a little
That's going to
later.
be so fun. That guy is a hoot.
There's going to be a few things going on that night. We'll have to explain it later. Damani Felder promises he will be here next Friday. Hannah Cruder will be here, possibly in studio on the 12th. Ben Morgan will be here on the 19th, and then Hamburger
Hilliker. She was in Vietnam, folks, and fortunately she lost a leg, an eye, and a glowing disposition on life.
Sorry, Hamburger.
Yes, Hamburger Hilliker. She's.
Oh my goodness.
We really appreciate her very much. Nice to see her. Welcome home, Hamburger. I can't believe you called Amber Hamburger.
I'm gonna have to reach
Hilliker.
out to her. I am so sorry.
She's probably watching, to be honest with you.
I think she's on her show right
now. All right, I got 1 minute. I gotta go.
Oh.
Christopher Martini is the kind of filmmaker who does not just call action. He writes the story, carries the camera, shapes the performance, cuts the footage, and stays with the project until the final frame is finished. He began his career as a child actor in New York before graduating from NYU's film program and spending more than 15 years working as an editor. That experience taught him how to find the heartbeat of a story and would eventually lead him to create an impressive collection of film, documentaries, and music videos. Chris wrote and directed The Stone Child, an award-winning short about a young Lakota boy coming of age. He later wrote, directed, edited, and starred in Trooper, a powerful film about a father and son returning from different wars and struggling with the wounds they brought home. His work also includes What the Night Can Do, starring Stuart Margolin and JoBeth Williams, as well as the award-winning projects Postulite, Just in Time, Crowd Dating, and The Deplorable. Chris has directed music videos honoring Medal of Honor recipient Don Jenkins, met him, America's First Responders, and Gold Star families. More recently, he directed The Relentless Patriot, documenting the life and work of a good friend of ours, Scott Lebedo, and The Man You Don't Know, which examines Donald Trump through the eyes of his relatives, friends, and longtime associates. From veterans and first responders to artists and presidents, Christopher Martini has built his career telling stories about conviction, sacrifice, family, and the people willing to stand for something, even when standing comes with a cost. It's my honor to go ahead and introduce long-awaited Chris Martini to the show. And Chris, I don't know where the hell you are. I think you're right. There, Chris Martini. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show, my friend. Welcome, folks. $300 on the board. Feel free, like Olivia said, to donate throughout the show. Chris doesn't mind. Chris, welcome to the show. Tell everyone a little bit about you and something that I may have missed.
Wow, you guys, that was the best intro I've ever had in my life.
Yes.
Really well researched. Thank you for having me on the show, Matt and Olivia. It's great to be here. You pretty much covered everything. You did miss out that my mom was a parole officer.
Wow.
My stepfather, you didn't mention, but I'm sure we're going to talk about him. You did mention his name. An actor. My brother's an actor. My sister's a costume designer. So I mentioned my family because my family defines me also. So,
Sure.
But that was a great intro, you guys. Thank you.
Well, thank you. So let's get to the real question. Why'd you dodge us for a year? No, just kidding. Just kidding. So we reached out to Chris like when the whole Barry thing started. I think he was the first contact, and you were in the midst of it. I think you were just, you were climbing the walls.
It was right after we had Mandy and Jack on the first time. And
Right.
Mandy gave me your info and said to reach out. So I did.
Speaking of Mandy making her curtain call, as she's always here and always watching during
Hi,
these times.
Mandy.
So Chris, listen, I think of the first question that I have for you, as a person who loves film, and it doesn't matter what time period it is. It doesn't matter really what the genre is. When it comes down to film as a director, is it truly that like the big five: sound, overall quality of film, cinematography, acting, lighting, and then I'm sure there's a few others that I don't have the chops for that I'm not mentioning. I guess editing and then score and all those type of things. Is it absolutely, are they all essential to the process, or are there things as a director where you've like, I got to put something out, and if I'm going to cut a corner, it's going to be right here? What is the one that you will never cut and never touch, no matter what, as a director, as a must-have in every single piece of work you sign off on?
So I went to film school, and I made all these crappy student films for so long. I just had, that's where you really cut your teeth and you make mistakes. So, but after doing all these films, what I realized is that my story sucked. So I knew how to make a great looking movie, because that's the easier thing to do. But what's really hard to do is tell a story. So, if you can master screenwriting and storytelling, and this even applies on a documentary, like some of the documentaries I made, I structured them like narrative filmmaking, like a script, 3 acts with, a protagonist, an antagonist, and goals and conflict, and but if you can master the script, then the rest will follow. So I think the most important thing is the script. And then second to that is casting, like finding the right actors. So, or if it's a documentary, making a film about the right person, so script and casting is everything. And to me, everything else is just easy. And you could go buy a DVD and watch the special features, like the Alien DVD, and watch the special features, and you can learn how to make a movie that way, but it's script and casting is the most important thing.
Do you think there was a role that kind of you played, or a film that you participated in as a director, or spent some time working on the script or doing revisions or whatever, that really kind of unlocked it for you, where you were like, okay, this is the bread and butter. I start here and I don't care where I end. As long as I go ahead and nail this part, the rest will get there. And by some sort of homeostasis, I'll establish the groundwork, and then I'll just branch off from there, and there'll be success. Was there a role or a film or director's position that really kind of unlocked that for you?
I think it was Trooper. So Trooper was my first feature film. So I graduated NYU. I still didn't know how to tell a story. I kept making short films. I kept failing. And, that's the thing. A lot of filmmakers quit because film is so expensive and it takes so much time. And then they just drop out. But, I wanted to keep going. I was in love with cinema, and I wrote Trooper. What happened was 9/11 hit, and that changed me. And I was like, oh my God, what is going on in the world? It changed everything. And so that's when I started looking into veterans. I did a documentary on veterans, but then I decided to write this narrative feature film about a returning veteran, and that was Trooper. Now, I didn't know how to write a script yet, but I had the story in my mind, and I had the right intention, and I wrote this script. I didn't have kids back then or a family, so I was able to lock myself in my apartment, and not leave until I finished this thing. And I did that, and I finished it. Now, I asked my brother is an actor, and I asked him to play the lead role, and he said the film was kind of dark, but I wanted to make this movie regardless. So I decided to act in it myself. So I'm writing this thing knowing that I'm going to act in it. So I'm acting out these scenes by myself in the apartment, and just like the most intense stuff where, I'm playing a veteran. I'm trying to envision myself losing my best friend. And so, I'm like, I'm making myself cry. And then, as I do this performance to myself, but then I'm writing it as I go. And so with that script, I think I was able to really understand story, but it was not easy to get to that point. But I finally got a finished product. I finished the script, and I sent it to a film festival, and I think it was the Rome Film Festival in Italy. And, I had never won an award. That was the other thing. It's like, I had made all these films, but they sucked. They weren't getting into festivals. They weren't winning awards. So this was the first award I got. It was for that script. And I was like, wow, okay, I think I cracked the code. And I was so happy. And then what happened was I had been editing these National Lampoon movies, just something like completely different. And the producer owed me a lot of money for that. These checks were going unpaid. So he paid me all of it at once. And it was the most money that I ever had in my life.
Wow.
So I went and I didn't, I had no dependents. So I was able to take that money and go make Trooper. So we shot that in as a feature film. We shot it for, I made it for 60 grand.
I was just going to ask you. Wow.
We shot it in 14 days. So we were, with hardly any crew. So most TV shows shoot 6 pages a day. which is with like a crew of like 150 people. We were shooting 10, 14 pages a day with like half, with like 10 to 15 people. And I was acting, directing, producing, doing everything. It was absolutely mental.
How many scene changes did you have during those times and have to reset?
Oh, I mean, I was in every scene, and it was bonkers because, I had been a boom operator. I'd been a sound guy, a camera assistant. So I'm acting in this scene, and I'm like trying to, do a scene with the actor, this scene that I wrote, and the boom's going in the shot, and I can see it, like, and so it was mental because you have to put on this hat and that hat. But that film was special because it was the first time that I got to see audiences react to it. So, I did a screening at the Actors Studio in New York, which is like the most prestigious acting school, to a complete left-wing audience. And then they loved it. They're like crying, they're laughing.
Wow.
Eli Wallach's daughter is in there. She's watching the film and she loves it. Total left-wing audience. And then a week later, I'm flying to Florida to screen it for veterans, like guys with no legs and, special forces guys. And, and they're seeing in this film the most patriotic film they've ever seen. And so that's why Trooper was a really interesting movie because, the story was incredible. Like the left thought it was for them and the right thought it was for them.
Sure.
And the people in the middle, they just loved it. But it was completely apolitical because when I made it, I didn't really understand where I was politically. I was trying to figure it out. And we shot it during the elections. And that was like when Obama and McCain were running against each other. And we didn't know who was going to win. So we shot two different versions of who wins the election. Come on,
Chris, you knew McCain wasn't going to win that race. Come on now. I mean, come on. You're like, okay, look, we got to do the McCain thing just because we always have to write that, consolation letter just in case the improbable happens and the stars and the moon align and swamp gas bounces off Uranus and refracts into our atmosphere and we all die. Yeah, but we know Obama's going to win. I think everybody knew that. But anyway.
Oh, I mean, my character ended up voting for McCain in the movie, and my dad, who plays the Vietnam vet, voted for Obama in the movie. So it's like,
oh wow.
So I don't want to give too much of it away.
Where can people? They'll tell people where you can get the selfless plug because we've already watched two of your works, but this is something that I think we're already intrigued in. So where can people get it? Where can they buy it on iTunes? Is it Amazon?
It's on Amazon, it's on Apple, it's streaming. Okay. I think, you know what? Just watch it for free on Tubi because it's on Tubi. Ironically, that's where the more revenue comes in from Tubi because I don't think people like to pay for anything anymore. So I'll probably get more money if you just watch it on Tubi, but it's
I got a great idea. Go watch it on Tubi and then go buy it on iTunes or another place and do both because you're going to want to watch it again. It doesn't sound like something you just want to. This is Pringles.
Send you guys a DVD. So I made all these DVDs, and I know we don't have DVD players anymore, but I actually like to send these things out and sign them so that they can sit on your shelf. It's just like something that you can hold. Like I just finished a script and I only emailed it to one person, my best friend, Mark Caruso, is going to be a producer on this. But I printed the script on paper with a printer.
Right.
Mailed it to 30 people so that they can hold it and smell it and feel it. It's like This is a work of art. Why would you want to give somebody a PDF? So anyways, I'll send you guys a DVD.
Awesome.
Well, yes. I'm a little. I don't think we have enough room on the shelf, so we'll figure out a place. We'll figure out. No, we're just gonna there's no room. I can't. No. Yes, of course we've got plenty of room. We've got all sorts of people's stuff on the back, and that's why we built that shelf specifically for that reason. So we would be honored. So
send me your address so I have it.
I will
send it to you.
absolutely.
Yep.
Liv?
Yeah, so you seem to have worked on pretty much every aspect of a film or TV show. What is your favorite part to do?
What, like between film and TV?
Writing or directing or editing. What is
I'll
your
tell you right now, one
aspect?
answer to this question is he does not enjoy the editing process because he did that shit for 15 years. So I can tell you right now, as a digital guy and media, 15 years of any one thing, you must hate editing. Am I wrong or right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a union editor, and I used to love it, but as you get older, you got kids, and you're like, life is so short, and it's like now, I just I'd rather have. So, the guy editing my next film won an Oscar for editing.
Oh
so
wow, great!
I'm very happy to give it to him. Now, sometimes I want to edit it myself because, I don't trust anybody. It's like, so I got to do it myself. But for the most part, editing annoys the shit out of me. So now, Olivia, to answer your question, I love writing when, I have the ability to silence and, no distractions, when I can focus on it, when it's enjoyable to me, when I'm struggling to find the time to get the writing in every day. It's very hard and it's like grueling work, but you can't have a movie if you don't have a good script. Now, once you realize the script's good, then I love that, but once the work's done, there's Barry, and I love my peeps, Barry, Mandy, Jack, Shelley, anyways. But I think I'm a director, and I love directing. So, when I was a kid, my brother is an actor. I'd put him in my little home videos, and then my sister would do the costumes. And I like being master of the universe. I'm in love with the process of like you get this little idea in your head, and then you get the balls to put it on paper, and then you get the balls to go find the money and go make this thing. And it's the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. And then you get to see all these people working on this thing that was just a little idea. And then you get to see audiences all over the country in theaters seeing something that just started out as a little idea. Oh, I want to go do that. It's just, and then you see them affected by it. So it's like that whole process of idea to creation is something that I think only like a writer director can truly experience, So that's my favorite part of the process.
So a lot of people, when 9/11 happened, we all had different reactions, and all of them were palpable, I would assume. There were people who, couldn't breathe. There were people who were immediately in a state of flux. There were people, unfortunately, who celebrated things like that happening around the world. Obviously, as an American, you shared similar experiences to what we experienced, and all the people you've mentioned, and most people watching this show, was one of profound sadness and regret and fear and trepidation and all those things. Do you think, did you find something cathartic about Trooper that helped you cope with it? For me, I wanted to go back in, and I looked at Olivia and she looked at me, and that was probably the most resounding no I've ever received from my wife. It's usually a yes. And I served in different ways and helped in different ways since, but my first reaction was, show me where they're at, show me who the enemy is so I can kill them. Was this cathartic for you in a way, or did it just bring up more tears in the soul because of the things you had to see and experience and really research for this film?
It's hard to describe where I arrived at after 9/11 if I don't, or how I got to Trooper without describing sort of the chain of events. So,
okay.
I was living and working in Vancouver. Now, I'm an American, but I've spent a good amount of time in Canada. I was working on a Showtime series in editing.
Are you a Canucks fan?
No, I actually only follow football just sometimes when the Giants are doing well.
All right, we can continue the interview. You're about to get yanked. So okay, so go ahead.
I was working on a TV show in Vancouver, a Showtime series in editing, and 9/11 hit, and just one of my best friends who I love dearly. When 9/11 hit, I was wide awake. I was watching the TV. I was like, oh my God. And my friend was sleeping on the couch and he wouldn't wake up. I was like I didn't understand. Like it was more about how people around me were responding to it, because my grandfather was a World War II veteran, very patriotic, but I was very in tune with how other people were responding, and so I don't know, the people I was working with just didn't have the same response as I did. And, the bodies are flying out of the building and, and I was like, what is going on? And then in Canada, I was like, I do not want to be here during this, because it was like, they didn't seem like they had control of their country, so it's like, the response was different there. And I was like, I'm going to get the hell out of here. So I had an 81 Ford Bronco. I put everything I owned into they're like giant tanks. And
That's my favorite. It's one of my favorite vehicles of all time, and something that I'm not willing to pay $100,000 for anymore, but I want that vehicle so bad. But
two-tone blue, real American steel.
Yeah.
I had a soft top on the back, a snap top on the back. And I put everything I owned into this Bronco and I drove across the country and I stopped at every national park. I saw, like everyone, I zigzagged wherever I wanted to go. And, just falling in love with this country again, because I was in Canada and they don't really love the United States there. And, some of them do, but it was like, I just wanted to be back in my own. So I'm driving all over. And then, I wind up back in New York because I used to live in New York. And I'm driving over the Brooklyn Bridge. I see the American flag. I'm in my Bronco and I almost start crying. And because it was like, I wanted to come back to New York and see like a renaissance. I wanted people to wake up and things to be different, after 9/11. It didn't really last long. It didn't happen. But I got hired to edit a documentary on Gulf War veterans. And, this was, my grandfather was a veteran, but this was my first experience. So as an editor, I had to watch hours and hours of footage of these veterans overseas, and I didn't really understand what the military really did, and I was going through this footage of like dead bodies and body bags, and I was just like, and just things blowing up, people getting shot, just like raw footage, and I'm just like, something happened to me. And but then, making that film, what happened was I realized that veterans weren't being taken care of when they came home. And that's what did it. I still get emotional talking about it, but that's what did it. That's why I made Trooper, because I wanted to, like, it really pissed me off. I started to see the apathy in the country and the way that they thought about the military. And then that's when I started to see this sort of like anti-American thing that was like going on in the country. And so that was the beginning of my political, journey, I think. And that's how I arrived at where I am today. It was Trooper. It was like the veteran is, and I hope I answered the question. It was a long, drawn out, I don't even remember what the question was, but that's how I got to, that was my response to 9/11.
Listen, we don't worry about that. If people, I always wonder why, not that you did something wrong. It's that when people say, hey, I don't know if I answered that properly. Only you know that. and only you can answer it. And what I love is that whether the question was answered or not, that's what you want. That's the question inspired you to talk about that. So I consider every single response the right answer. When it comes to a question of how did something make you feel, because that's your story. You know what I mean? And it's not objective truth, it's subjective truth. So you're allowed to say whatever the hell you want, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you the other way. It's a good answer, and I think a lot of people share that with you. The more that I spent time with veterans and PTS and VetNet and thousands of veterans, even though it's cathartic in a lot of ways, it's never enough. It's the hole that will never be filled. It's like boiling the ocean. It doesn't matter. You can't do it. And that's the hard part. But here's a trailer of Trooper. I think we owe it to ourselves to see it. I wasn't prepared to do that, so I was doing that in your answer. So I really didn't listen to anything you said. I just made it up completely that it was a good answer, so I could do this. Listen, that's a lie, by the way. I was
kidding. Ever keep your father waiting like that again, you little bastard? How about my hero, son? Are you staring at my shamrock?
What is that?
Someone.
To the Murph, welcome home. Welcome home, Murph.
You're going out to see a girl, aren't you?
No.
Well, maybe you should go see a girl, because all you're doing here all day is sitting around jerking off.
All you do is sit here and eat and watch television.
I really love you, Murphy. I do. But we can't be together.
What'd you do over there for fun? Yeah, man, did you just get to take anybody out?
Whoa, calm down.
A lot of guys were saying it's a depleted uranium.
Take a look at these brochures on post-traumatic stress disorder.
You're stressed, that's it. Sick, just like you.
That's great. I get to dig your grave. You get to dig mine.
I got a lawyer.
Good.
He's gonna represent us.
Very good.
I love this country. I'm not gonna piss on it.
What kind of a country doesn't take care of its warriors when they come back home, Murph?
You signed the dotted line to quit your bitching.
Dog tags. Were you in Iraq?
We need to go to the VA to get tested for DU.
Do you know what happens to people when they blow the whistle? They yank your benefits.
What benefits?
They don't want to pay you, bro. But they have to. You gave for your country. It's about time they start giving back to you.
I'm at the dead end street. I'm in the dark and out.
Walk proud, Murphy. You put in your time, you're a fucking hero, copy?
I need my unit. This is in your head, and you gotta get it out of your head. You hear me? You get it out of your head. I'm here for you, and you're here for me.
Want to talk about weapons of mass destruction? Look at me. My life is over.
Everybody's got a reason.
He's dying, Finn.
Well, that's what soldiers do, brother. They die.
Damn, man. Dialogue, so important to a good film. And trailer or not, you can tell that the dialogue is super strong. I can't wait to watch it. And yeah, that looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, Libby.
A little bit younger in that movie.
I was gonna say I think the goatee wasn't there. That's what changed everything. So, and the beard, you know. So listen, we all get older. That's one thing that's absolutely. They say death and taxes, but there's a lot of other certainties that they don't mention. Yeah. Right. Liv, go ahead.
Okay, so I was just thinking when you said you came back from Vancouver and drove across the country and you visited all the national parks. One, did you go to Glacier National Park, Montana?
No.
And two, what was your favorite park you went to?
Ooh, I did go to Glacier. So I went to Yellowstone and Glacier, and I stopped in I stopped in Montana to visit Margot Kidder because I was friends with her. Remember Margot Kidder from Superman?
Superman, yes, of course. Yeah.
You know, she was a friend of the family. I loved her.
Amazing woman.
And, you know, I think there was a lot of hype about her going crazy because, I mean, she was always a little crazy. But anyways, I stopped to visit her, and then she invited me to go with her friend, who was a documentary filmmaker, into Yellowstone, tracking grizzly bears, which was really a fun. I did go to Glacier, but I spent more time in Yellowstone with this Vietnam vet who was a filmmaker, and we spent like days waiting. He's like, "You can come if you help carry camera equipment," and so I did, and. You know, we waited days for the grizzlies to come. I was like, Bill, you know, his name is Bill. I was like, Bill, when are the grizzlies coming? 'Cause, you know, we were filming like flowers for like a week and like rivers and, you know, anyways, but yeah, no, the grizzlies did come. Glacier's pretty, very pretty.
Yeah.
Glacier was my backyard growing up. I was there every summer.
I love Utah. You know, I lived in Utah, and I'm in love with like the red rock and the desert.
Yeah, you know, the Moab. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, me too. We're Coloradoans as well.
But I love Montana. In Montana International Film Festival is my favorite festival, run by a friend of mine, and. You know, my film won there, but Montana is like one of my favorite states. It's so beautiful. Like I dream of like living in a farmhouse, and it's like a dream with like the grass blowing and, you know, and just like the wife and the kids. And it's like a Terrence Malick movie, my dream.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I grew up there. So.
Say it again.
My stepfather was in a Terrence Malick movie. He was in Days of Heaven, but my dream is like Days of Heaven a little bit.
Oh, wow. Okay. Mine's the ending of High Road to China with Tom Selleck and Beth Armstrong, when that old Dorothy World War II biplane is just flying and gliding, and Horner is playing in the background, I believe, or it might have been Williams. I'm not sure. That's my heaven, is just that pink moment, clouds, bubblegum pink and cotton blue, and flying a beautiful plane. It's just, there's something about it. Out of Africa did a similar singing at the end, and I'm with Robert Redford and Meryl Streep, very similar ending.
You guys really know your movies, because when Barry was on and you guys were doing the movies, I was like, oh man, because I usually know more movies than most people, but you guys made me a little nervous.
The funny thing is, we ran a podcast before this that was more successful than this at launch. It was called the Nerd Fap podcast. Speaking of blowing loads, which is what fap means in Japanese, but it was basically nerd porn was the name of the show, Nerd Fap, and it was like Chris Hardwick was just growing up in the business. Kotoku was taking off. IGN was going big. And so we got in right at the ground level of having a 3.5 hour once a week, 5 or 6 people who are just absolute aficionados at film and comics and everything
video
else
games.
and toys and video games. And it was a pop culture show. It went to 350,000 viewers within 3 months, and it just boom. And then Apple came to me and said, this is a conflict of interest. You're going to have to surrender your stock and surrender your position for this podcast. And I'm like, let's see. I think I've made $1.29 off this show. No, I'm not going to give up $500,000 to do this. But I'll tell you what, if I would have held on to it, that would have been a $20-30 million podcast. And I'm so wonder what would happen in our lives if we would have held on to it, because it was so good. I mean, the production value, I mean, it was well beyond its years. And we didn't have all this. We didn't have video. It was just audio.
Yep.
So you had to like sell movies by talking. I mean, and so we've got like 23 of them. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to pump those up, but
they're great episodes.
They were great episodes. Yeah. So we love that type of stuff. So Lakota, the Stone Child, Lakota boy. So how is it working on something where you have to like go outside your own culture and completely get outside your own skin and tell a story? Is that challenging, or how did that process go for you?
Yeah, I mean, the Stone Child was the first feature. You know, Trooper was actually the second feature that I wrote. The Stone Child was the first one, but I made a short film as a proof of concept. And, you know, it's wild. I mean, you know, they were like, who is this white guy coming to the reservation? Right. You know, like, you know, but, you know, I think like a truly driven filmmaker is nuts. And when they see someone who's like truly nuts, they don't stop them. You know, it's like, I wanted to make this film, and, you know, but I didn't want to just come in like Kevin Costner and just order people around. Like I think I sponsored a kid on the reservation. I went to Sundances. You know, I sat in sweat lodges, you know, to try to understand the culture and come up with a great story. And, you know, I even, you know, went to this woman's house who was a descendant of Black Elk, the famous medicine man. Wow. And I helped her like butcher a buffalo. I mean, it's crazy. I did the craziest stuff. Wow. I have photos of me with like my knife, because I had been camping, and this axe where I'm like dismembering this giant buffalo in her basement, you know, and, you know, so they thought I was crazy, but they, you know, they kind of, you know, they helped me with, you know, telling me about the culture. And, you know, I went and I shot this short film in the Badlands, and, you know, with a herd of like wild buffalo. And, you know, it's just that the filmmaker has this vision, this dream, and it's just about making that dream a reality and telling a story from it. You know, that film did very well also, you know, and it went to like 30 film festivals, and, you know, it was picked up by like PBS. And, you know, that was my most woke film before I knew what woke really is. But, you know, I just wanted to make it. I didn't have an agenda. You know, I wasn't like making it because I hated my own culture, you know, or anything like that. I just made it because it was this story that I saw, you know.
Did you get a lot of people's takes on the United States and, you know, North America and the natives' perspective on not being anti-America, so to speak, but there's a certain, I guess my experience with certain tribes is the underlying confidence that we over exemplify sometimes about patriotism in this country. And it feels like they're looking at you like, yeah, we felt that too. And, you know, that's something you kind of got to bridge. And I spent a lot of time in Evergreen, Colorado, very, very influenced by Native Americans, and although very accepting and loving and caring people, there was always that sense of trepidation that I always felt with any tribe. Experience the same, or was it different for you?
You know, because I made that film and I spent so much time with them and so many years researching and, you know, being with them, sponsoring a kid, becoming, you know, having friends in that community. It's the Lakota Sioux tribe, you know, but, you know, just so many years with them that I will forever love that culture, you know, and just despite all their flaws, you know, when you spend so much time with people, you just develop a love for them. And I'll never forget, like, you know, I don't know if any of you guys have been to a Sundance, but basically, you know, they tie themselves by their skin to this tree. It's insane. And they dance in the sun, and you have to like fast before this thing. But they have this enormous process of selecting the tree for the Sundance. And what happens is the leader of the tribe has a vision of where this tree is, and the whole community goes on this this hunt for this tree, and he knows where it is. So everyone's following him, and he finds this tree, and then they spend hours like around this tree, like drumming and singing to it. And I remember like I broke down in tears, because I was like when you're singing to a tree for 2 hours, it's something hits you after 2 hours. And it was like, and this didn't come from a place of like, oh, I hate my culture, I worship them because they're not us. It was like I was just there, and I experienced that, and it made me cry, because I realized like, how far we've come. I think it's the same thing as like when hunters go out hunting, and
correct,
you're out there in the environment for so long, and it just makes you think of like how far we are from the truth sometimes. But that was the feeling that I got. Now, that being said, I do think that with every culture there's flaws, and there, and there's just, but and I think back on the history of our country, and like, when we decimated tribes and that kind of thing. There was a movie called, I think it was called Savages. It's like, is that the name? It's one of my favorite Westerns. And was it Savages, or there was, sorry, I blanked on the title, but I think it was, sorry, I went blank right now.
Yeah, do you have an actor?
He's English, but he does an American accent very
recently.
It's not a totally recent movie. It'll come back to me.
Okay.
But
okay.
It was so good because it showed, yes, we killed tribes. We were killing each other. And this is what this movie showed, is how it was just that time. It was just a dangerous time to be alive. And it showed the complexity of both sides perfectly, the white side and the native side, how ruthless, how, savage each side was. And I think after looking at the history, that's what I think of. It was just a time in history where it was just very complex and bloody and savage. It was just about survival. It was just primal.
It's so funny you said that, because I was just going to say it's called primal conductivity. And it happens to veterans a lot too, especially in places where you're alone or by yourself and your thoughts, to be able to connect to the environment, connect to the things around, connect to the history and the spirits and all of that. I've experienced that a few times in Colorado. We were up in the mountains and completely isolated. You could literally look up and see satellites crossing each other. I mean, that's how dark it was. And, that wind howls or that ice bites into you from a Chinook coming down from the Alaskans, and or the Canadian Canadian Rockies, and you're kind of like, this is about as primal as it gets. But anyone who's done any outside survival camping, which I had done before I met Olivia after the military, and you definitely, when you're alone with your thoughts in nature, man, there's a primal element to it, and it can be humbling and very emotional. So I'm with you 120%. Someone said Chris is bringing out his inner hippie. No, I don't think that's it. I think it's more of just being in touch with one's emotions and feelings. Livy, go ahead.
So recently we watched The Relentless Patriot, which
so
was
good.
Amazing. And then we had Scott LeBedo on the show after we watched it, which he is awesome. Loved getting to know him. How was it working with Scott, and how were you able to capture him without politics and everything controversial that he's done?
Without Scott overwhelming Scott.
Exactly.
I mean, Scott's he's a very powerful figure when he projects himself. How do you tell a story about him without, Scott overwhelming Scott? It's a good question.
Remind me to tell you how that project came about, but I don't want to drift, but to answer your question, like Scott's persona on social media is very like designed. It's not designed, but he comes off in a way where you're just seeing sort of like the swear words and the shock value. I mean, we all see his message. That's why we watch it and we agree with him, but it's like, it's social media. It's designed, it's you're scrolling and then he just shocking and the language, it just, so it's different than who Scott really is, and so when you do a documentary about somebody, you as a filmmaker are deciding who the real person is, and that's the story you're telling, so it's like his passion for veteran, like he's funny, right? So we want to bring that out. When he's talking about the flag and veterans have died for it, it makes you want to cry. You're like, yes. It's like, yes, I'm bringing out my inner hippie, but I do love everybody, and it's like, it pisses me off where the country's going. Just like, that's why you watch Scott, because he's pissed off. And that's what's so like entertaining to watch him, but he's not all of that. Like, he's very loyal. He's such a good guy. And that's the story that I was trying to tell. I was trying to show who he is. And, the narrative arc of that movie is who Scott, really is outside of social media. And, it's like, what are the things that all people can connect on despite politics? It's like, well, if you don't love your country, why are you here? If you don't love our military, well, then you don't respect your freedom, So it's like, a lot of people say, oh, you made Scott into such a good person. Well, he is that way. If you look at, if you really look at what he's doing and what he's done over the years, there's so much emotion and so much love, and it's so funny when people, hate him, who are on the other side, because they don't know him at all. I mean, he's great. And, I wanted to make this film. So I was in, it was COVID, and I had just shut down my production company in New York. We had an office in New York. COVID hit. We lost a client. We had to shut down. My partner, Mark, and I had to split all our camera gear. And, we just went off on our own. And I was like, I got this camera. And my landlord in Brooklyn was like, you got to interview Scott Lebedo. And so I went and did that. And then I ended up spending 6 years with the guy, and inhaling all his cigarette smoke as I'm filming him. But it's like, it felt good, because at the time I was like very pissed off with what was going on in the country. It was like the George Floyd, everyone was like destroying the country. And, I was riding around with this crazy guy, with flags on his car, and everyone was like giving us the finger, and I just loved it. And, and so I did that because, I made that film because Scott was my outlet to express the frustration that I felt at the time. And, by filming him and being with him, I learned about, what he's all about. Like, when you make a film, you're making it to learn about something that you don't know. That's the whole point. And, it ended up being really well done. And, just an expression of where I was at the time.
Yeah, we loved it. We showed it to our kids, and Scott was surprised we watched it. And I'm like, and people are surprised all the time that I read their books or watch their films or listen to their music. And I'm like, what type of jackass invites you on their show and you don't actually participate in their passion because you're asking them to participate in yours? it doesn't make much sense. There should be a little give and take. Plus, he also called me an honorary jackass, which was really nice. So the great thing about Scott is that once you get past who Scott thinks that you want him to be, for the very little time I've known him, his true form comes out. And once you give him that permission to be himself, there is just a beauty about him that is indescribable. And I found it with a lot of people. Barry's that way. Chris Pronto, Tonto's that way. My good friend Leroy is that way. People we've had on the show, most people come back because they get to be themselves. And whatever trepidation or hesitation or insecurity they felt at the beginning, once the music started rolling, at the end of the show, it's just like we're sitting around having a couple whiskeys and you've been drinking the whole time. So you definitely feel that way. My turn.
I have a saying, all roads go back to Barry Morgenstein. So, it's like...
Don't they? Isn't he like the Kevin Bacon of this mother humper?
Yes.
Like 6 degrees of Barry Morgenstein. Everybody, Barry's like, oh, I know him. And I'll be like, listen, we want to invite this man who's been in the Himalayas for the last 47 years. He's been living there in a Lay's hut and has been striking his own pitch matches and hunting for his own food. Essentially, sardines the size of a micro are only available food for this man. He's had no contact. In fact, no one's seen him alive until now. And Barry's like, I know that fucking guy. Here's a picture.
No, I mean, like Barry, like a lot of the stuff that I've been doing, you can trace it back to Barry. He's such a generous guy, and I'm not just trying to kiss his ass because I know he's watching, but he Barry has helped me out a lot, and Jack and Mandy are Barry's shooting all the stills on all my movies, but Jack and Mandy are going to be like my producers moving forward.
Oh, such a good choice. They're amazing.
And it's just, I think I met them through something else, but, or maybe it was through Barry, I can't remember, but it's just like this group keeps me sane. I mean,
they're good people. They're good people.
I literally would not know who to bounce things off of. And, but they're great.
I can't Deirdre bringing us into that world and forcing us to go to Barry and spend money. What's funny is I'm an honorary Jew because I don't like to spend money either. And so she got me to spend it, and I was on the phone with Barry, and I'm like, all right, I'm like, so this is the price. Can we, let's see if we can whittle that down a little bit, like an Arab trader. And I don't know, there was just something about him. He was so eager to talk and so eager to get to know you that it was almost like it was too slow, and he wanted faster and more. And man, when we just met, we just hit it off. Something happened, and I'm happy to say he's one of my best friends. I absolutely love the man, and I would lay down in traffic for him. And the whole crew has just been incredible to us, and you are now included, whether you like it or not. You're a part of our tribe.
I'm in. I love you guys, and I would love to come back. This is a blast. I mean, you guys definitely do your homework, and you ask great questions. I mean, I don't know. You guys are good.
Well, watch this. Watch this question. What is the airspeed velocity of an African-laden swallow?
I knew that was coming.
No,
I knew that was coming.
Okay,
That's
so
okay.
So listen, we're fine with going a little bit longer into this, but so you're working on Everybody's Angel, and this is a huge project for you. You had mentioned it multiple times. So I'd love for you to kind of talk about that, what you're working on. You also talked about a super secret project, and being a former intelligence specialist, I just love talking about things that are top secret. Can you walk us through both? And then I know Olivia will probably have a follow-up for you.
Yeah, so I'm doing a documentary on my stepfather, who was he played Angel on the Rockford Files. He won 2 Emmy Awards. He was a character actor. He was in so TV. He was in everything. Like Magnum PI, Love Boat. I mean, 60 years of credits. Stuart Margolin, and movies like he was in Kelly's Heroes. He was in
Great
Days of
show.
He was in Arbitrage with Richard Gere. You know, he had a career of like 60 years. So I grew up with this stepfather who was famous. People used to recognize him on the street. Of course, everyone knew him as Angel. You know,
dude,
so
I know this guy absolutely intimately, and my childhood just came up and slapped me in the face. It's his expression and it's his eyes, some of the darkest eyes I've ever seen in an actor, and that's what like I saw his picture, I'm like, oh my god, I've seen this guy in like every single 70s show that I, you know, coveted and loved, and you even mentioned a few. Incredible. I had no idea. That's one I missed. I apologize for being a little starstruck on that.
yeah, I know. You know, it's funny. Tattoo gave him his Emmy. You know, Tattoo, the midget.
Yeah. Deep lane, boss. Deep lane. Yeah.
Little person.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it was wild. You know, growing up with him. You know, I wanted to make movies, but it wasn't because of him. It was because of the laser discs that he had kicking around the house. Like I would watch like Kurosawa and like Bergman and all this serious
Kurosawa films. Oh, dude, you and I are going to get along just fine. Yeah. Holy moly.
Wells, Bergman, like, you know, he had all these great movies and I used to watch them at a very young age. But he definitely, like, having a character actor as a father, as a stepfather, who my real dad was a sculptor. You can ask me about that after, but from Italy. But you know, Stewart was very funny. He was a comedic genius, and I got to, you know, I would run lines with him and stuff. And so, you know, like I do think that I have comedy chops, you know, because I try to put comedy into what I do. I mean, there actually was comedy in Trooper. I know that was like a heavy trailer, but there was a lot of comedy in there. And I owe a lot to the actor Gary Swanson, who brought that to his character. But I do know comedy, and Stewart had an effect on me. So I'm doing this documentary called Everybody's Angel. There's an Indiegogo. If you Google it, we're 72% funded. We've got like 20 days left. But, you know, it's going to chronicle his whole career with focus on the Rockford Files. James Garner's daughter is executive producing it. And she's really helping me, Gigi Garner. They're doing a remake of the Rockford Files right now, NBC. It just got picked up, so the timing is perfect. You know, and it's so funny. I think the director David Fincher just contacted my mother because he's the guy who did Seven.
Right.
Yeah, if you Google Everybody's Angel, it'll come up. The Indiegogo.
I'm going to put the link up for you. I'm just getting it so you can talk about it while I show it. State-of-the-art graphics, buddy. Industrial Light and Magic calls me. Go ahead.
So David Fincher wants to license a clip of Stewart's, I think, from the Rockford Files. So it's very hot right now. And, you know, he's got a lot of fans. The Rockford Files fans are like, you know, I actually want to thank them because, you know, I'm interacting with them to really get this going. But this film is really about the character actor. It's like the guy who's like not the leading man. Like you either love him or you hate him. And, you know, the funny thing is like 95% of the people that I'm talking to are Rockford Files fans, love Stewart. But you got the 5% who couldn't get past like all the ways that he was like screwing up Jim, you know, Rockford's life, you know, with this character. So Stewart did a really good job playing this really unlikable character, making him memorable and likable. So that's what this film is going to show. I've already interviewed my mom and Stewart's brother. Stewart did a show called Love American Style.
Oh my God, dude! Yes, so I remember the logo, Love, and the song, and all of it. Oh my gosh!
So Stewart's brother was one of the writers, executive producers of that show. His interview's already in the can with my mom. My mom's interview also, but Stewart was in the little blackout episodes in between the little.
Yep,
the
I know
little
him. Dude, yeah, I'm already pulling it up. I remember 100%. There it is.
Yeah, and and his brother was an Arnold was an executive producer and writer on the show. So Stewart was in all these shows, and a lot of the writing was great. Like the Rockford Files writing was great. So when you have great writing, and you have these character actors that come in that do their own thing and bring it to a whole other level. That's what makes James Garner so great. I mean, he was great. Let me talk about Garner separately, but when you pair him with Stewart, who's like doing all these unexpected things that the writers don't even know about, then it's some of the best scenes, the most memorable scenes for people.
Oh yeah. Murphy's Romance, one of my favorite movies of all time. Absolutely one of my favorite movies of all time. And you learn how to wear a cowboy hat if you watch that movie. So Murphy's Romance, if you haven't seen it. Garner at his finest, because it really encapsulates Rockford Files, the debonair suave, crooked smile, early Tom Selleck before Tom Selleck was around. But then it also gives you his acting chops. Not over the top like in Maverick. That whole movie was over the top. Good movie.
Maverick.
I loved it too. It's just over the top. But Cool Hand Luke. Garner.
One of my favorite movies.
Garner. I mean, Garner probably would be the only other person who could play that role besides Newman, in my opinion, because he was such a very strong character. And he wasn't a character actor, but he had this. Like, you don't want to mess with this guy because Garner will knock your dick in the dirt. He's that type of guy. Lovable. You love him. He's soft. He's easy. But he just seemed like he could just roll you up into a ball if he wanted to. Chris?
He was such a great guy in real life, too. So, growing up and working on film sets, and you meet all kinds of celebrity actors, and you get these guys that'll come to set and they're like, the crew, the AD will make an announcement or something like, you can't look this guy in the eye, the most ridiculous stuff. And, just total a-holes, but Garner was such a good guy. I worked on the Rockford Files Movie of the Week's remakes, and he treated every person from the bottom of the ladder on the crew up until like the most famous actors the same way. He treated everyone with the most respect. On his shows, everyone ate like amazingly. He always had the best caterers, but he was just such a good guy. He gave me I was raising money for my NYU student film, and he gave me a check of $500. That was a lot of money for me.
Yeah.
At the time,
Sure.
and I still have that check stub. So yeah, he was a great human being.
Yeah. Garner's incredible. The Notebook? No.
That's a good movie though.
No, it's a good movie. I could do without the
end.
Here's the thing. In The Notebook, here's my critique, and I'm just gonna be critical very quickly. Nobody gives a shit anyway. But when you have Rachel McAdams as a leading lady who is like a Lana Turner with the way that she looks and acts, but she doesn't seem high maintenance or elite, but just comes off as that girl next door, and you're like, and then you get to see her sassy, cantankerous side in that movie, and you're like, oh wow, like that's a girl that I wouldn't bring home to mom, but I would marry. And then you've got perhaps the most handsome leading man since Redford, and those two are just cooking. And the love affair between them is literally like, you can feel it. It's in the loins type of feeling, that love that they express. And then you go to Garner and they're old, and it ruined it for me. It took me out of the love story, and I'm just like, oh gosh, I don't want to hear this shit. Can you just go back to that amazing story there? And so for some people it made them cry, and for me I'm just like, can you just go back to that? I don't want to, like, you could have brought it in like him reading the story and then put it at the end and not had all the middle stuff, and I think it would have been okay. Chris, your thoughts on The Notebook? Am I wrong? Or
I have to admit that maybe I haven't seen it.
Oh, so you're not gay? That's good. That's good. I'm totally gay. I'm married. Of course I'm gay.
I watch a lot of movies, and most of them are like pre-70s movies. Like there's a great book called Easy Riders and Raging Bulls. Have you guys read that?
No, but I know it. I know of it.
Oh, it's such a great book. It tells you exactly why, movies suck right now. You got to read this book.
I'm already writing it down.
Oh, you'll love it. I mean,
yeah, and I've heard of it.
Can you ask you're the
second person.
Mandy, if they've read it. Is
Barry, okay, sure, I'll do that for you. Hey, Barry, Mandy, and Jack, have you read it? You know who I feel like? I feel like a hurrah. And it's like, computer, are there any asteroids off the starboard bow? It's like, computer, are there any asteroids off the starboard bow? No. I'm captain. He said no. It's like, I fucking heard him.
But it's such a great book because it shows you like how after Jaws, and look, I
Chris, you forgot to mention your stepdad.
Death Wish. He was in Death Wish, and I'm interviewing the son of the producer of Death Wish. Like Stewart's role in Death Wish. Oh, Barry read it. Yeah, I knew he had.
I didn't know Barry could read. That's good for you, Barry.
But Stewart's role in Death Wish was really like integral to the plot of the movie, because that's when Mandy's writing. Oh, Mandy and Jack need to read that book. But in Death Wish, Stewart gave Charles Bronson the gun. It's such a great scene. Anyways, hoping to get a clip of that for the documentary, and I'm going to interview the producer's son. So Easy Riders and Raging Bulls shows that like pre-Jaws, everything was better. Like Heaven's Gate, the big budget movie that bombed, how cinema was like amazing. But like after Jaws, everybody realized, like all the producers realized, you could make boatloads of money on movies. And that's why we're in the predicament that we are now. Because, there's once in a while a good movie comes out, but it's like all the movies I love are like, it's true, like pre-Jaws. And it's not like you could blame Spielberg. Spielberg actually, my brother and I made it. So my brother was in Saving Private Ryan. He was an actor in Saving Private Ryan. When they found Matt Damon, he was with my brother and another actor. And the interesting thing about Saving Private Ryan, it was incredible. Like I was at the cast and crew screening, and if you guys remember, like that was the most realistic depiction of combat that anyone had ever seen. So like I'm in a movie theater with the whole crew, and I'm sitting next to Dale Dye. He's like right in front of me, the military trainer who trains all the actors like for boot camp and everything. He's a Marine, I think, but he's like right in front of me. But like I'm watching my brother in the most realistic fashion get shot in the neck with like blood going everywhere. And it was absolutely insane. But on that movie, a lot of the actors were filmmakers, so Edward Burns had made Brothers McMullen, Giovanni Ribisi, Vin Diesel, all of Matt Damon.
There's a lot of good names in that movie. Yeah.
So there, a lot of those actors were filmmakers. Now, my brother and I made a film right after he did that, and we shot it in LA. It was a short film, and and we shot it on film. We shot it on Panavision with the giant film cameras. But my brother had just done Saving Private Ryan, and Spielberg gave us all our film stock for free. So
oh wow,
we sent a PA to like Kodak or whatever it was in LA to go get our film. And there was like a long line of people waiting to get film. And he was like, DreamWorks. And they like put him to the front of the line. They were like, here's your film. Film was very expensive. So point of the story is like Spielberg, very generous, great guys, made some great movies, but it was like Jaws that changed the whole perception of the business, I think. So anyways, it's a great book.
Yeah, well, absolutely going to dive into it. Olivia has the last questions because we got to go to work. Last night we missed goal because, things. And tonight we're missing it. So we got to go to work. Chris, it has nothing to do with you. We would stay on all night with you.
Well, I made a lovely commercial that apparently no one watched today.
It's okay. No, this is what happened. You're going to leave. And then people feel awkward about donating when there's a guest on it. And it's always been my rule that we don't do it because, we don't want the guests to think that we're trying to make money off of them. So I think it's my own fault. I've created a bunch of demons. But Olivia gets the question. This is the biggest question. And then remember, go to Indiegogo. You got to take a second. We have all the links we've put in here for you of where you can get the Film Trooper, how you can help with Chris's next project. He's just a couple $1,000s away. And if the crew wants to help out and pitch in, you're going to have a lot of people on the podcast who can pitch in if you want to. We'll put it on the site. And then obviously anybody who watches the shows get, 10, 12, 15,000 views over the next 7 to 8 days. So hopefully we can get some donations going that way. But Liv is going to ask the last question.
And the most important question of the evening, as always.
And here it is, Chris. If you haven't seen this, is pretty simple. Does
pineapple belong on pizza?
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
The red one should be fuck no.
It's you know what? There's only one answer, and the answer is official. Wait, I think I hear it coming. I think I wait, no. wait, trying to hear it.
Throw me.
Let's see. There it is. That is now 7 in a row.
I need to start inviting cooler people on the show that will side with me.
This is the longest streak. I mean, this is what is known as a royal ass kicking. I mean, 7 people have said no, and I think at this point, this question is just, we all know. We all know the answer. The answer is
Canadian. You're wrong.
You might be Canadian.
I might be Canadian. No.
She's not Canadian.
I grew up 2 hours south of the Canadian border, but no, I am not Canadian.
No, she's a real hockey fan, so no, she's not Canadian.
The show is on my side. So,
my dad is from Rome. From Rome, Italy. I can't put pineapple on the pizza. Sorry, no, I'm actually an Italian citizen. So is my son. I think they would probably rip up my passport if I did that.
Yeah, it's Shelley likes pineapple on pizza, but this is why women shouldn't vote either.
No,
you know what I mean?
Shelley and I are just cooler than all of you. Shelley, we need to go hang out and leave these losers by themselves.
Oh yeah, we're the losers because we don't put fruit on pizza, whatever. We didn't get to talk about the man you don't know, and we're going to leave that for next time. I want you to take a minute or two for you and just give the audience anything that we missed or whatever else. And I will tell you, we would love to have you back and reminisce and have great conversation again. But please, the last minute or two is yours. Take it.
Yeah. So the man you don't know, Joshua Macchiello, produced that, Global Ascension Studios. Great, great movie. I mean, that movie will be the one if I get canceled, it's because of that movie. But yeah, I actually had, I'm working on this project and I did a Zoom with the team, and there was this guy that was supposed to be on the call that was going to produce this film, and he was not on the Zoom. And it was because I had done that movie. He just pulled out of the project, so just crazy stuff like that. But yeah, there's that movie that got like 80 million views or something on X. It's still on X. You can watch the whole movie on X. Elon Musk shared it. Benny Johnson shared it or something. But
nice.
So yeah, no, it's great. You can still watch it. My next movie, and then that's all I have to say, is the Top Secret Project. But it's a period film that I adapted from a book. But I want to leave it for the next show. It's a story about coming to America. It takes place in the 1920s. It's a true story. I adapted it from a book. It's the true story of what happened to the author's father. This is going to be my biggest movie of all time, biggest budget. It's huge, but the script's done. I go to Paris and Rome to start scouting locations, and it's going to be big, and I'm really excited about this movie because I think the script is right where it needs to be. But I would love to come back on the show, you guys, and talk about that next time.
Absolutely.
Done. Where are you located? What state?
I'm in DC. I moved my family out of New York.
Okay.
Because of recent elections, but
yeah.
I could have fathomed the reason why you would want to leave. I mean, seriously, what's wrong with New York? It's like, God, what an asshole. Jeez.
I mean, it was prophetic how I got the timing of that, how I got my family out of there. My wife is actually from DC, and so we moved here for a little extra help with the kids, and I'm not hating it. I'm from Texas. I would love to move to Texas, or something like that, but it's not going to happen. Yeah.
You're our people.
Yeah,
we're from Texas
as well.
We're from
Texas as well. Well,
and
yeah.
we're only very close to you right now.
We're 45 minutes away from you, brother. So the next time
from DC.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so I want to see you guys soon.
Yeah, so we need to get you up here and get you in studio to sign the wall and get you to drink some real whiskey. So
yeah, our daughter will babysit your kids happily.
Sure, whatever. Bring the family. Bring
the family down
in the studio too. So
yeah, we can sing to trees out here and stuff. So it'll be fun.
I'm in. You guys, whatever you want me to do. You guys, I love what you guys do, and I feel the family vibe here. So.
Good, dude. We feel the same. So we would love to have you anytime and want to say thank you, Chris. Let us know when the project gets closer.
Yes.
We'll be showing some of your works on here if it's okay. We asked Mandy to do that from time to time, and we love to kind of do movie night, and we would love to. So God bless. Thank you so much for being here, man, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks so much, Chris. You guys. Thank you.
Chris. God bless. Thanks, man. Oh, man, what cool. I love that. I love it. It was
awesome. It was a year in the waiting, and that was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, it was worth it. It would have been nice if he would have shown up a little sooner, but I'm just busting balls. God. You got to have fun with people, man. Like, you got to screw with people.
Oh, goodness.
How many women guests have you had on that said they don't like pineapple pizza? That's a great question. Only one.
Who was it?
It was.
Was it one of the chicks on the right? I think one of them said yes.
Yeah. No, they both said no.
Oh, okay.
Both chicks on the right said no. And Jessica Lynch said yes, but Jessica Lynch was before the chicks on the right. But so we've had a streak of 7 people have said no. Well, no, it's 8 because the chicks on the right, there was 2 of them. So Mandy says it's very difficult to ruin pizza as long as there aren't anchovies on it. It's a go. Maybe it's a slow week, closing time, pineapple pizza, hit, quit, no commit. Listen, if it's there, I'll eat it. I like pineapple. I just don't like it on my pizza. It's just a personal preference. And honestly, there is only one right answer. And thank you for the people who
that's
did.
Yes.
Right, sure. That's not according to this. And sorry for the people that were all butthurt over me saying, this is why women shouldn't vote. You obviously haven't watched this show. If you're not offended yet, stick around. You will be. We've got, listen, guys, last night kicked our ass. I don't know what, maybe it was just a melancholy show because I shared a story and it just, everyone was just like, screw it, I can't be here anymore, I'm leaving. But we would like to get our numbers up. People are over on Twitter doing really great. 52, 42 on Facebook. Screw you, Facebook. 29 on YouTube. The only way you can do that is share and like.
And don't make me feel like I failed on my first video I've ever made by myself.
I was going to say that. She made her own video.
I wrote the script.
She did very well. She recorded it. She did it. She made me edit it, but she did a great video. But
I wrote it and did everything for it. So come on, don't make me
guilt
feel
trip.
like I
Pack
feel.
your bags. We're all going on a guilt trip. We got to get the goal right. We can't miss 2 nights in a row because that ultimately is no bueno, no good. Remember, Olivia lost her job because she's a failure. So just I just want to bring it up, folks. Let's get started. The Kennedy diary. So this, listen, Fauci is like, they released my diary and they're invading my privacy. You jackass! You put it up in the cloud, and it was on a government computer. And every corporation I've ever worked for, I wipe my phone and wipe my computer before I turn them back in. I just don't care. Says 44 on Facebook. That should be like 105. We've lost 60 viewers in the like Facebook is they're just trying to do away with live. They really are. Today I went on Nick Freitas. Nick Freitas has got like 1.7 million followers and he was at 300. So it is what it is. You know, I'm not taking like we beat Tim Pool most nights. So
I look like a blonde right now, apparently.
No, in that video you look like a blonde because the sun was shining through your hair. I was gray, actually. So Kennedy, this is Kennedy answering about the diary. Watch this.
You found these diaries, and everybody is saying, these are private diaries. Could you please lay this to rest? These are not private. They were, I don't know why he put them on, but they were put on government servers.
Yeah, well, you know, every American knows this who has a job. If you go into your office and the company that you work for gives you a laptop and you do work on that laptop, it belongs to the company. And that is true. That is federal law. If you do something on a government server, it belongs to the government. So he was keeping a diary for the book that he intended to write about his life. And at the end of his term, just before he was leaving,
we're getting crushed.
He emailed the entire diary to himself. So years and years of keeping this daily journal, he emailed it to himself so that he could write his book, and that's how we found it, through those emails.
But he knows that. I mean,
it's not a diary. It's not a diary in the sense, like you said, that a teenage girl keeps a diary that's private and has a lock on it. This is a government computer, a government laptop on government time, keeping this account of what his official duties are, and then making private observations about them. You know, the liberal media is now feigning indignation that we released private diaries and violated his privacy, but it's a crazy assertion. And, you know, what they're really doing is covering up this, like you pointed out, this vast media malpractice that took place during COVID when they elevated this guy to a deified status who had funded the weaponization of coronavirus, who then had given it to a Chinese military-run lab, to 2 scientists there, Xi Jinping and Ben Hu, who further weaponized it using NIH technology that they got from another NIH grantee, Ralph Barrick at the University of North Carolina.
Yeah.
And they created SARS-CoV-2.
Thank you, Kirsty Worthen.
Who was seen as a second scientist.
Thank you, Kirsty.
Is patient zero. So he was the first person to get sick from COVID-19. And then, you know, if you look at the subway line that goes from the Wuhan lab, all the original cases were on that subway line. Oh, these scientists were infected. They were getting on the subway. People were getting infected, you know, at each stop along the way. And that subway led right from the Wuhan lab to the airport. So people then spread it internationally.
So, long story around the barn is Fauci has absolutely no recourse on this. It's his own damn fault. This is just like Hunter Biden with his laptop. I mean, that's what happens when you leave literally a computer full of porn and drugs and paraphernalia laying around. This is what's going to happen. So, I don't feel bad for him. You feel bad for him?
No. He shouldn't have left it on a government computer. If you didn't want your stuff out there, maybe you should keep it private, like maybe in a written diary on your bedstand as opposed to a government computer. Just saying, you know.
Yeah. So, folks, we're gonna have to play the video. So yeah, we're gonna play the video real quick.
What the hell is that? It's a boy on a broom? Well, don't open the window. Bloody hell!
Muggles, I'm sorry for using magic outside of Hogwarts, but I'm in dire need. Have any of you Muggles seen my golden ball?
Did you just say he's looking for his gold balls? I think he said golden ball.
Right you are. You two are very bright witches.
You really are the brightest witch of your age.
Did he just call us bitch?
It's a Harry Potter movie. You have to keep it PG-13.
You know my name? I am Harry Potter. That means you know where it is.
No, we haven't seen it.
Well, you can buy a new one at the Dumb Show. You get 10% off for using code DUMB10.
Bloody brilliant! 10 points to Gryffindor.
Did he just call us Griffin whores?
If you want to take part in more adventures, you too can donate to The Dumb Show. You can go to thedumbshow.com/donate. We take PayPal, Venmo, credit card, and you can even send us an owl at P.O. Box 2, Round Hill, Virginia 20142. Please make sure to leave your name and a message, and we will share it on the next show. Live weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And remember, oh, them Dumbledore sent you too.
Okay, seriously? What's a fumble sore?
Go ahead.
You got to push the button.
Just talk.
Thank you all for watching that commercial. Sorry. Have to get the picture back on.
No, you don't. You can
there
talk.
we go. Okay. Here we go.
Keep going, Liv.
That was a wonderful commercial. If you would like to donate, you can go to thedumbshow.com/donate. It helps keep the show free and not behind a paywall so we can keep bringing you wonderful guests like
Especially when we
Martini.
get charged almost $500 from a freaking software company who tripled our bill for no reason in the middle of the show. And we're sitting here like, okay, we missed last night. Now we missed tonight. And now we just lost $500. So we're feeling a little bit freaking out right now. So,
anything helps.
Yeah.
Appreciate
it's not that. It's just, I got to take care of this because it's going to be the weekend and we don't want that to happen. All right. So next is Candace is absolutely spinning out of control. Crowder literally just systematically took her out. And watch this.
Here is the evidence. And then we have a new segment, Stupid in 2 minutes or less.
Our rooftop guy begins a tactical crawl. It's actually known in the military as a lateral crawl. Let's watch that.
God. She's so stupid. Like this woman drives. Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
And I actually do want to show you side by side so you can actually see a real military man do that alongside this person on the rooftop. Let's bring in that side by side clip. Here we go.
Which military wears that uniform?
Right there
is that a real military? I don't know.
As a lateral crawl. But we're just going to show you that so that it's clear.
I've seen babies do it too.
Back and forth flash there while he's military crawling. Here we go. There, and we're running that back and forth there.
Okay, we're going to do a fact check after, but it's fun.
Signaling the bees. It says, Charlene, will you marry me?
You now have that.
She's
so
signaled.
let's watch and see if we, with our eyes, can observe some sort of a kickback.
All right.
And again, I have to apologize.
What's a kickback?
This is not like Benny Johnson 4K footage, but it's at least clear enough here on your screen that you would be able to discern a strong kickback on a gun.
What's a kickback?
From somebody
That means
who's
like being
laying
paid
down,
by a
taking
foreign nation.
shot. See here.
All 18 pixels.
10 more seconds here.
That looked
okay. He is
like
up.
a slight kick, if that's what you mean, in his leg at one point, which would be the very mild recoil in a prone position, taking the shot.
That's a solid 300 frames per second, too.
Anybody see a recoil?
Oh, she meant recoil.
Oh, recoil. Yeah. Yes, I did. It's very slight, but yeah.
Through a scope, as he allegedly was, you might even expect a black eye.
What?
Wait. So when do you get a black eye for shooting a rifle?
She is the dumbest human. Okay. A 30-06 kickback. I know plenty of women who deer hunt and have fired a 30-06 in the prone position, standing, and surprisingly enough, no. A 30-06 is not going to give a shit ton of kickback. Now, if you're firing a Deagle or you're firing a 50 cal Barrett, or you're firing an elephant gun, or depending upon the shotgun and a 12 gauge, depending upon the load, sure. But scope eye? What is this? A freaking World War II carbinger with a metal scope that's in the stock? And folks, Candace Owens doesn't know anything about guns.
She doesn't know anything about anything.
She's a retard. She's a retard.
She didn't know anything about anything.
Crowder absolutely cooks her.
Why? Did a bird punch him in the face? What?
like it's a 30-06 in the pro position. She's acting like it's Samus Aran's plasma cannon. Like, okay, this brings us to stupid in 2 minutes or less, or it's free. Toolman, 2 minutes or less. Start the timer. All right. Claim, first one, that this evidence was withheld from the court. Truth, actually the defense demanded it be withheld, not the prosecution. The prosecution wanted this all publicly available because they find it very damning for Tyler Robinson. The defense said don't release it, and the judge ordered that to be the case. Claim, the video depicts an advanced tactical military crawl. Truth, former Army Ranger Josh?
No.
Okay. Claim, the man on the roof is military signaling. Truth, former Army Ranger Josh.
What would he be signaling?
Yeah, so it's too blurry to see.
What is it, like a flanking maneuver? No.
Okay, it's too blurry to see the kickback, but not blurry enough to see like, look at me here. Claim, that person doesn't even look like Tyler Robinson. Truth, the person doesn't look like anybody for the same reason Mario Land on your Game Boy doesn't look like anybody. However, there's a plethora of publicly available footage, pictures and images showing Robinson on site with his parents, even confirming, but I'm sure that of course that's also the feds as well. Claim, you never see a person pull out a gun. Truth, I guess it's not in this footage, but it looks like he's crawling with something in his hand. Sorry, tactically, militarily. Claim, there was no recoil. Truth, I saw some, Gerald saw it, I think you saw it. Recoil from a 30-06 is pretty moderate, especially in the prone position. The idea that it would cause a black eye, you'd have to be retarded. Another truth, the medical examiner report, which of course is not real, it's all fed slop, confirmed that he died from a gunshot wound to the neck.
You guys, on a scoped weapon, it doesn't extend past the chin rest and the stock itself. You absolutely can get scoped if you put your eye on the scope, but that means you are holding the weapon inaccurately. Just like you can drive off of a cliff if you don't apply brakes when you're going towards it. Anybody who is slightly educated in weapons, most scopes you can't even reach the eye and the reticle in that fashion without completely holding the weapon in a foobarred position. If you take a look at the AR on the wall, you could see there is absolutely no chance that I'm going to put my eye on that reticle and have it kick back. First of all, it's an AR. It's not going to kick back at all. So please understand that the position of the optics in today's standard, whether you're using a 10x zoom or a 20x zoom or a 5x or whatever you're using, vortex scope or whatever, most of those are not extended past the stock and the chin rest. So even on an old Mauser, if you take a look at the video, sorry, I'm indigestion and my heart is ready to die right now. So I'm a little frustrated and upset. If you take a look at this Tyler Robinson video or Tyler Robinson photo of the rifle. So can it happen? Sure. But if you take a look at that, you can see where your hand is going to be. And there is, here, I can't do that. Sorry, sweetie. Don't mean to go over you.
Oh, you're fine. You're trying to show
your hand
something.
rest is there. You can see where you're going to be gripping the weapon. And when you put your chin down, you're either going to do this or you're going to do this. Or where I like to do it is have it in the back of my shoulder, because this stock is fairly long into your shoulder, which you're going to be looking down the scope. Your eyes not going to be pressed against the scope. And to assume that the kickback from a 308 is this massive, giant push, that's complete bullshit. It's not a 22. But a 308, 30-06, 308 is going to kick harder than a 30-06. In this situation, bolt action rifle, a 30-06 is not going to kick to a point of literally punching the scope right through your face. Here's the YouTube video. So, let me see if I can find this. Oh, this is a perfect demonstration. Perfect demonstration.
Barely even moved.
And I just absolutely just pulled it up without even trying to preset this. So you can see, first of all, that the grip placement in your hands, he's pretty high up on his grip. And you see his shoulder? And do you see his other elbow? Do you see how his elbow is up and his front elbow is down? This is not the way that I would shoot. And when I shoot, I'm almost going to make two elbows down, left elbow slightly ahead to go ahead and read the forward grip. And I'm going to have one elbow back, but both are going to be firmly planted, because that's going to lock my body first for stability on my overall sight line. But when I'm taking the recoil of that weapon, I'm not going to move an inch, because I'm locked and loaded and my frame is locked. It's an A-frame lock. I'm right in there. Now look where his head's at. He's in a good spot, resting on the cheek rest. That's a Savage, I believe, which is one of my favorite weapons ever. A Savage. I love the Savage 308. And I don't like where his hands are. I'm going to stay as far away from that ejection where that casing is going to come out. I'm going to be a little bit further. But when I go a little bit further, what's going to happen? The rifle is going to come down and my other elbow is going to go ahead and rest. So having your elbow stacked like this is not good. So watch this and watch how he shoots. Well, let me get rid of this extra. It's a Savage. I guarantee it's a Savage. Almost 100% just from barrel profile. I'll find out what it is for you. Watch that again. The reason why now this shows a little bit of kickback, but he moved with the weapon, and it's because his other elbow wasn't placed. Like I said, he wants to make that A-frame, that triangle, 3 points of contact, just like a tripod. Spread elbows out, this elbow slightly forward to forward on the weapon itself. Keep it locked into your shoulder, cheek rested, 3 points of position, bam. That's it. So you can see him move and watch that elbow pick up and move, because this single is going to give you vertical stability. But that weapon is going to push at a horizontal push back. So all it's going to do is move that elbow. 2 points of contact, lean into the rifle is going to stabilize. And when that comes down our back, it's going to drop down into your shoulder properly if you're holding that weapon correctly. And he's not. And that still didn't punch him in the eye or kick back.
Wasn't much kickback at all.
Let's see if I'm right.
This is the perfect pair for your iPhone.
Hold on.
And it replaces 3 different chargers. This is the Ridge.
Yep, Savage Access 306. Yep. So, am I saying that there's absolutely? Oh, it pisses me off. They slow rolled me. When I first signed up for Veed, it was $147 a year.
Oh, jeez.
And they charge us $380, and I'm like, you bastards. It's not cool. Just wasn't ready for that. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just a douche move. So that's it. And if you're laying prone, there's no recoil. That energy is going to dissipate through your shoulder, down your tricep, down your lats, down your buttocks, your legs, and it's going to be dispersed. You're not going to move at all. But even if he is eye scoping that son of a bitch and he's right up against it, yeah, but Candace is just making shit up.
Always.
This is what she always does.
She doesn't do anything but make it up. I don't think she's spoken a word of truth ever on her show.
She's just an idiot. So anyway, I love that Crowder cooked her. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Go ahead, Liv. Thank you, Joanne Townsend, for saving the day. Thank you, Matt and Olivia, $50. Appreciate you. God, thank God. Man, it's so hard sometimes, you know? It's so frustrating with these damn donations. I just can't wait to, we're getting to some good spots now.
Getting there.
Just gotta keep fighting this fucking algorithm. I think the closer we get to election season, the more it'll pick up. It's just slow. And it's never like this. All right. She's acting like a 30-06 has the recoil of a 500 nitro or win. Yeah. Okay, so let's get to something else. YouTube admits, this is the former CEO, wish I could do more, had plumbing problems myself yesterday. And that's from, who's that from?
Anonymous.
Oh, I know who it's from. Thank you, Anonymous. $50. That's enough. We appreciate you very, very much. Let's go, Dumb Nation. Yeah, we need some help tonight. It's just really slow. Let's go ahead and hit on this. And this is YouTube admits to blocking accounts.
Awesome.
When it comes to vaccines, vaccine hesitancy, videos that cause a public health risk, where do you want to see YouTube do better?
Well, first of all, we've taken responsibility very seriously. It's been one of my top priorities, and with regard to COVID and with regard to vaccines, that has been a top priority for us. And we have a number of different ways that we address that. So first of all, we want to make sure that if there's information that violates our policies, we came up with 10 different policies around COVID. Then if that's a violation of policies, then that's something that we'll remove. We removed over 1 million videos associated with COVID.
Have you talked to the Biden administration at all about vaccine hesitancy or vaccine misinformation?
Well, we did an event actually with the Biden administration, including President Biden himself, with a number of creators, Fauci as well.
I wonder if there's anything that you see in the way that anti-vaxxers behave on the platform, if there are any data or insights there that could be helpful to people understanding where they're coming from.
I mean, we try to understand what are the different ways that we can break through. So we talked about in this campaign that we did about getting back to the things that you love. So what we really tried to do was get not just from the experts, but also people that were not experts, but who were explaining, like, why did they take the vaccine? Why was that relevant for them? And what was their thought process?
So, listen, we had our account banned. I think our first account went to like 2,700 in 3 months. And YouTube was growing and YouTube was doing well. And the day we were monetized and we were so excited about it, we got 3 strikes and they were all from President Trump. And 2 of them were from President Trump's rally where he talked about COVID. And then we said the word COVID. That was it. I did. And they said you were spreading misinformation, and they banned my account. All 190 some odd videos.
Took the videos with them.
Took everything. They just cut out our legs from underneath us. And then Facebook, we got, and we're still permanent. This is why we do donations, because we just don't make any money off the live shows. Like these live shows, I've told you guys, 5,000, 6,000 views, 10,000, 20,000 views. And we make nothing on those live views. If it wasn't for the donations, we wouldn't be able to keep doing the show. So this is what content creators have been fighting. And luckily, there's enough there where we've gotten past the firewall and the algorithm to survive. But it's tough, man. It is really tough. Who's that?
Probably Ethan. Walking the dog.
Let's not probably. Let's find out. Okay. I don't like my door opening on the show. At all.
Joking me.
Let's find out. Who is it? Announce your presence. Yeah, so YouTube, they never restored those accounts. They never refunded any of the money. Facebook owes us $250,000.
Yeah, they sure do.
We were doing $15,000 a month. We didn't take any donations, nothing, and they haven't. Yeah, they
just took everything.
They hate us. They cut our income by 90%. You know, I don't think there's been a month where we've made more than $1,200 or $1,500 from Facebook, because they just throttle you, and no matter what you do, they will not allow you to grow. It is just absolute. They undercut you. So if it wasn't for the good viewers, we would be in the same position. But here's something you didn't see. Maybe you've seen this. This video is from a COVID nurse, and Olivia and I had never seen this video. And from what we understand, this was throttled extremely. And several creators got banned for putting this up. And we're putting it up because we don't give a shit. So here it is.
Me telling you that they're murdering these people, and nobody will listen to me. And they all know what's happening. They all agree with me, and they all just shake their heads. And I'm like, am I the only one who is not a sociopath? To think that this is okay? Nobody's listened to anybody's lungs as long as I've been here. Even with disposable stethoscopes. I keep telling them that, the guys are like, my patient's going acidotic. We need to do something about this before his kidneys shut down, give him some bicarb or something like that. And this is what they do. They let the patient's blood get acidotic. So anyway, his kidneys shut down, and at the last minute, they finally decide to run bicarb. So they run 5 liters of bicarb into a person who's gained 20 pounds of water weight and completely throw him into heart failure, and he dies several hours later. COVID didn't kill that guy. He was a COVID patient. Every single patient I've taken care of, guys, is a COVID patient. What I need is someone to help me save these people from being killed, from gross negligence and complete medical mismanagement. And no one is listening to me. I am literally telling you that they're...
It's just completely wrong.
And it's...
Did the hospitals get money for every COVID patient that died?
Yes. Well, I've done this. So a diagnosis of COVID, now this is an average, is $10,000 is what they receive. So a diagnosis of COVID, they gave them a $10,000. I guess it's not a bounty, but it's that with the testing and the time it takes and the doctors and then the precautions and the safety and the PPE equipment, they gave them $10,000 per diagnosis of COVID. So that was one. Anybody who was in an intensive care or extended stay with COVID inside the hospital was $50,000. And anyone that died was a $75,000 to $100,000 to the hospitals.
So was it on top of that? So they got the 10,000 for being diagnosed. They got the 50.
Yeah, the government subsidized the hospitals
for being in ICU.
Right.
So
and whatever they charged the parent, the loved ones, and yes, they still charged $17 for an aspirin. Yes, of course.
So on top of everything, they made $260,000 off of the government from all these patients.
Correct.
That's why people who came in who were pretty much organ failure from a car accident, they tested them for COVID and said they died from COVID. Got it. Love these people. My God, how corrupt. They sound like they're being run by the government. Thank you, Christine Klug. CC bill for monthly expense came in a little lower than in past months. My husband is laughing right now, so pretty sure that means he'll be okay with the donation. Thanks for all the great shows. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christine.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very, very much.
That helps out tremendously.
Yeah, it does, because we need it. We definitely need it, especially when software companies that you absolutely need to do subtitles and stuff screw you over and charge you without telling you. $170 is where we're at. We're a little over halfway to go. Certainly would appreciate any help if you could for donations. We are in, oh my God, we have 3 minutes. I can't believe we have to do this again. Like we had to do this last night. So, I'll put up the clock, but like, yeah, it's just shitty. Just bad time.
End of the month.
It sucks. It's just hard. I think we can go 10 minutes. That's the best we can do. We can't go any further, especially after last night and what just happened. For Medicare patients, they increased the normal inpatient payment by 20%. They bumped the prices 20% for hospitals. And they gave them 20% on the admission, which was it ranged from $13,000 to $39,000 payment. Separately, Congress authorized $186.5 billion healthcare provided for deaths and lost revenue. And so the average came down to exactly what I said. It was like, on average, $10,000 per COVID patient diagnosed. Admitted was anywhere from, I think what I said is like 50,000, 35 to 50,000, and then 75 to 100,000 per death. What? Thank you. So this shit's wrong.
It's absolutely wrong in so many different ways. Everything about COVID was wrong. Everything. And then
tapping their chest was like the worst thing that they could do, putting those rebreathers in them. And I mean, they just didn't know what to do.
And then not letting people see their loved ones when their loved ones were dying.
Yeah,
like when my grandmother was in a home. She was in an old person's home, and COVID went through the nursing home, and half the people got it. And so my grandmother was at the end of her life anyway, severe dementia. She was severely obese. She was on her way out anyway. And when she caught it, they wouldn't let my mom and her siblings come in and say goodbye. So, I mean, that's how wrong it was.
Karen says, why would they charge for a patient passing away? It's a great question. So first of all, thank you so very, very much, Paul. Trying to find a decent vehicle. Mine died, but I am in a good place at the moment. Always love hanging out with the dummies. You know where to go if you're not. We always try to help. You know that, Paul. Love you. Listen, shit happens. It's tight right now. We understand that. So our job is just to try to figure out why the hell this software company decided it's Veed, and they do all my subtitles and some of my edits for my videos. So I really need them, but I don't need them for $348 a year. I can use them for $147 a year. That's totally fair. $12 a month. So yeah, the reason why they at least why they said is because people who are who die, it costs more to for the healthcare provider to dispose of a COVID body, care for a COVID body, that most people who are admitted go into ICU and things to that effect, and they gave them more money for it. It's ridiculous.
Absolutely. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Anonymous donated $30, included the liar and the man missing a brain. Wow, no wonder it was a clusterfuck. Yeah. Yeah, thank you for the donation. We really appreciate it. That puts us at 251. Thank you, guys. Sherry Star has a really good point. I invite people on the dummy reels and memes to join the live. New viewers means potential new doers. Maybe others here can do so, too. You know what? At the end of my videos, I should just talk about the live, too, and just say, hey, see you tonight at 7 o'clock. Make sure you stop by. We could do a better job promoting ourselves. Can I tell you something? Booking the show 10, 20 minutes before, we got to stop doing that. We got to book it in the morning and let it sit there all day long. You guys, trust me, with Olivia, we're working on things, trying to get a little bit more effective. So we understand what it's like. So thank you for all your opinions. Elizabeth, I got your phone call. I just can't take phone call right now. I got to continue to raise donations. I appreciate you. Sherry Star, it's a really good idea. Brian Moody, $21.10. There we go. A little closer, folks. We got 5 minutes and some odd seconds. We want to go into overtime. Brian, thank you so much. Spain overrun by Moroccans. So you might as well say Arabs.
Oh, I saw this. It was all over yesterday. Like every video was of this, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, we wanted to cover this last night, but we missed donations and going overtime. And we have to have a hard rule to stop at 9. We just, guys, usually we'd be on for 2 hours and we'd raise 300 and we'd call it good. Now we're having to stay until 9:30 to raise 300. And if we don't raise that, you just can't. I mean, it's just exhausting. We have to go. Essentially what happens is after those shows that we don't hit it, Olivia and I have to go and start cutting videos and making posts on Facebook to try to find it somewhere else. It's just shitty. You do that already, Matt. All your videos say, see you tonight at 7. Yeah, but at the end, it's a picture. I think it'd be better if I say it. Like, I'm going to cut a video of me saying it. Instead of using that picture, I'm just going to green screen and put myself right on there saying
and
it.
invite them to come back and watch the show tonight.
Yeah,
That's
make sure
good. I like that.
It's a great idea.
Using your thinking caps.
Document. Well, Sherry did.
Yes, thank you, Sherry. Hey, message me, Sherry, so we remember.
Don't you put it down. Don't forget. We'll do it tomorrow.
Gosh, Kat, she's grooming herself and hair's flying everywhere.
Spain, now you know how I feel.
That's funny.
Spain overrun by Moroccans. Here it is.
Really wild video here.
Yes, it was a province of Spain, but
North African enclave in Morocco. This is a city called Ceuta. You're watching as thousands of migrants break through the fence and completely overwhelm the border police. Their video showing.
Do you guys remember when I told you when we talked about Portugal, talked about Morocco, and talked about Spain and the influx of Arabs coming into that? And a lot of people were like, I had no idea. Now you do. Right through the Strait of Gibraltar. We talked about that on the show. Is that literally, it's their Cuba. The only problem is it's not Cuba. It's tied to Africa. And there are millions upon millions upon millions of people and absolutely just overrunning this province of Spain.
Huge groups of people, mostly young military-age guys, cramming into inflatable tubes or arriving on shore in other ways, some of them wading in the water as they break through the gates to get to the other side. Sandra, this is reminiscent of kind of what we saw during the open border during the Biden administration through 2021, 2024, kind of similar to what we saw in Del Rio back in 2021. The socialist agenda, their platform literally says they want to abolish borders, abolish immigration enforcement, have complete freedom of movement. This is what it looks like in another country if they get what they want. Notice there is no resistance from the government whatsoever. These people are coming in without any obstruction. And if people don't know, Spain has a very left-wing government. Earlier this year, they did a big amnesty program for over 1 million illegal immigrants living in the country. They had 1.3 million illegal immigrants apply for that amnesty program between April and June. So that's what we call a pull factor, Sandra. They're looking for something like that. They know if they can just get their foot in the country, maybe someday that left-wing government will do another amnesty program. And you were just reading some of the wires. The locals want an emergency declaration. It sounds like
the ministry's saying no, and they will not deploy military to the border.
Apparently they don't think this is an I mean, look at this. This is a total free-for-all.
It does feel like we are looking at a few years ago when you're reporting at the border here in the United States. This is happening right now. This story is breaking right now, and you're not just talking about hundreds, thousands of migrants.
Hey, we're a little closer to goal. I'm going to take a quick phone call. Who are we talking to?
Hey, this is Paul.
Hey, Paul. What's going on, Bubba?
Paul.
I've been waiting all day. I saw this earlier. Who was it? Real Texas Conservative posted something.
Yeah, he did.
Said that they estimated 49,000 crossed in 24 hours. And in my head, I'm like, okay, how much is that? I went and looked. That is roughly between 3 to up to 5 American military divisions.
Jeez.
That's insane.
That is a handful of thousands less than the entire Spanish military.
Oh, it's insanity, dude. And the thing is that if we opened up and the Democrats have their way, that will be just a pittance of what they allow across our border. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insanity.
It just blew my mind. That is, I looked it up, and anywhere between 10,000 and 18,000, depending on what type of division it is a typical American military division.
Yeah, that's incredible. Deborah McLaughlin donated $5.65. Wish I could do more. Hey, it's enough. It's something. And the smaller donations mean the world. If everyone did that, we would hit it so quick. So thank you, Deborah. Paul, agree with you 120%. I said this a long time ago. This is not the first time. This will be the 5th turnaround. I made a post earlier today in regards to the Crusades, and I think the picture was it's right here. I'll show it to you real quick. You might. I
did see that one.
Yeah,
yep.
It's pretty simple, but
I know.
yeah. If you know, you know. It basically just said, "I think it's time we got the old band back together," and it's obviously Knights of the Crusade running down some unfortunate soul. Hey, Paul, thanks, buddy. I'm going to try to hit the rest of goal so we can stay on. We just lost the clock, so I got to go see what's going on. I appreciate you calling, buddy.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, brother.
Hey,
just
good luck on the
put
vehicle.
Perspective on that.
Yeah, we'll say a prayer for you on the vehicle. Let us know how it goes.
Oh yeah, it's all good, man.
All right, Bubba.
Thanks.
Talk to you. Bye.
Bye.
Yep.
So Kat Alkire at $27. Oh, thank you, Kat,
Thank you so much. Kat. Appreciate it.
We appreciate you very, very much. That is huge. That puts $5 towards last night's number, which makes up a little bit of a delta. So we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for letting us hit that, especially tonight. We needed it. We're about broken even, and I've already given that software company a piece of my mind. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and punch it. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
That helps
From the
out.
bottom of my heart, it makes me feel like I'm worth something for making that
You are
commercial
worth
today.
something. That was a good video. It's a cute video. You did great. Listen, it's just tight. It's tight, guys. It's tight. We understand that. And it's the end of the month. Tight. It's always hard, especially with the 31st. So it's payday. People are doing bills. They're trying to figure out where they're going to be. We get it. We understand. It's not a personal. Nobody's mad at any viewer. We're just frustrated with the bullshit. We just want it to stop. And if it wasn't for that big hit that we got, like I just looked up the screen, I saw 346. I said, oh my God, somebody gave us $346.
And then you're like, oh.
Someone charged us $346. I'm like, what in the name of God?
We would love to get to the point where we don't have to ask for donations. I mean, that's where we want to be. Unfortunately, we're just not.
It's there's a lot of good things happening, and we're going to continue to do what we're doing. That's what we're saying. That's why $5, $10, it helps.
Yes,
right?
It does.
And the dummies always come through. Last night was just tough, but we hit it. We're going to go in overtime. We shouldn't spend any more time wasting talking about this. Here is another angle of the Spanish invasion. And overtime was hit, crushed. Sorry for that dude in the water. Look at the amount of people. I mean, Paul said it best.
It's insane.
I mean, that is just 80,000 people. That's insanity. And where are those people going to go? Like, here's the scary thing. Let's just assume that 0.1% of those people are felons, rapists, criminals. How many is that?
So it was how many people? 80,000?
It's 800.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because 10% would be 8,000. 1%, no, it would be 80. So let's just assume that 80 people out of those 80,000, which is ridiculous to assume with the crime rate from the countries that they're leaving. But let's just assume that it's 0.1%. That's 80 rapists, murderers, thieves, physical abusers, believe that women should be caned and stoned to death, believe that a homosexual should be thrown off the building. And this is how Muslims take over countries. Olivia, check the Venmo. It might be in delay. Venmo's been running a little slow today.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact because we had another viewer who gave us something early in the morning and didn't show up until like the afternoon. We'll keep checking. Emails run slow sometimes.
Yeah, I remember, what was it, a couple weeks ago, somebody donated on PayPal, and
it was Robert Ellison, I believe.
So, yeah, and it was like we did get the email for like 2.5 hours. I had to end up going on PayPal to look. It was there.
It
we
happens.
Just get the email.
It's like it's not automatic. Olivia has to manually put these in on this program. I wish it did it automatically, but it doesn't, and you know that's just the way it is. So
I'll keep checking.
Yeah. This is hilarious. Watch this video. It's of an interaction with ICE. And watch how simple this went.
It's ICE.
No way.
Yes, recording.
I'm recording.
No, stop.
Oh my God, it is ICE.
So these people are recording this incident as, I'm sorry, honey, I forgot to redo the slides.
That's okay.
We were
busy. We were busy this morning.
So this video shows, okay, you got it? Yeah, punch it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you got it, punch it.
Okay.
There it is, JD.
There it is. Got it.
JD Stillwell, $88. JD, that's huge. That's almost makes up for last night. Come on, guys. $5 and $10 donations is where the magic really happens. It truly is. It really makes a difference. And it's not just because your $5 makes the goal. It inspires other people to give and help out. And when nobody's donating, people are kind of like, what am I doing? What is this show about? Why are we helping? But if everyone just spread a little bit and we kept the donations coming in, people saw the number climbing, it causes a chain reaction to have other people say, you know what? If they're giving, I'm going to give too because it helps the show. That's all. So those little things make a difference. That would be 8,000, 0.1%. Well, let's do the math. 80,000, 10% of 80,000 is 8,000. 1% of 8,000 is 800. So 0.1% is 80.
80, yeah.
It's not 8,000.
And here's the thing. They said majority of them were military-aged males.
Most of them were. That's all I saw.
It's just like, really?
Yeah, Jade.
Coming from those countries?
Jade, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, thank you, Jade.
Appreciate everybody. Thank you for helping us. Yeah, so, yeah, my math is right. I'm pretty good at that. Math is not... I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and, solve the rubrics of life, but I think it's pretty good. So here's the rest of this video. ICE easy peasy.
How are you guys doing? Good, man. What's your name, sir? Carlos. Carlos? Do you have an ID? Sure. What's the reason for getting pulled?
What's your name? My name's Carlos. Do you have an ID? And what's the reason I'm being pulled over?
Because you look like a target that we have. Handsome target.
That's funny.
Thank you, sir. All right. Have a nice day, okay?
See? How hard is that to give your ID and just show who you are?
I love the handsome target.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. They need to show this in school, and they need to show this on. Where is this on the other media channels?
Oh, they won't show it.
Just cooperate. This is what happens.
Yeah. Well, and he says other target. Can I ask you guys a question? You know the banner that used to be up there that had the ads? Did anyone actually read those, which had the shirts and the upcoming shows? Should we put something back up there, or does it look simpler and better without as much clutter? Let me know. So you guys can take a look. There's the scene.
And up here on the blue line, we had like banners that showed like our newest merch or the upcoming guests or whatever.
Do you just leave that off? Is that what you guys want to leave it off? It's less distracting because I know it sometimes cut off people's heads and stuff like that. So we're trying to get the store going more because the store does this 1 month. It does $3,000 in sales and the next month it does nothing. So we're trying to have people go and hit merch, and we have to do a better job of making shirts. I'm just spread thin. Having Olivia here is going to help out tremendously. And we also found out a couple really good algorithms for, go ahead.
Yes. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sandra Casey, 426. Thank you so much. Oh, it's an even 390. That completely makes up for last night, and now we're broke even.
Nope, almost.
We're $5 short from last night.
$5 short from last night, but we're almost there.
And I have to leave in just a minute to pick Hayden up from work, but yes, you were staying, but I did want to say, if you want to, can you put up the picture with who's coming? So I can just go over that real quick.
Yeah.
So do you guys remember Scott Lloyd when he came in a couple of months ago? And he's called in a couple times, who was running for the RNC chair down in a couple towns over. And that whole fraud thing. And then the sheriff's husband called in and was a complete douche plow. And turned out there was fraud. He won the appeal. The new vote is next Wednesday. We asked Tyler Fisher if he could switch his date. Unfortunately, he can't. So this is going to be what happens next week. Matthew and Ethan will be on the show next Wednesday.
With Fish.
Ethan is like super excited about that.
And I thought about giving it to Leroy and Olivia, but Olivia's like,
no, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready to, no. So what's going to happen is Hayden and I and Hayden's boyfriend are going to go down to the local town, and we are going to cover the election, and we'll have interviews and we'll take video. Of course, it's not going to be live.
In. No, it will be live because they're going to FaceTime in. One will be recording. They're going to FaceTime in, and they can give us updates on what's going on.
Yes. So anyway, and then we'll put together a compilation of the videos and show it later in the week. But just so you know, we will be keeping you apprised of what's going on with the recall election. But Tyler Fisher will always also be here as well. And Ethan is super excited to be here with you for that. So just wanted to give you the heads up before I leave out the door to go pick up our beautiful daughter from work.
I don't want to take up the space of my right elbow. Thank you very much. Some
What do you
people
mean?
like my elbows. Elizabeth Hall donated $5.65. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank
now we're
you.
even from last night.
Yes, we are.
So Sherry says, Matt, use the space that your right elbow takes up to say check out merch. No. Why don't we do her bony elbows?
That is a lot of money on tattoos. You know, we want to make sure those tattoos are shown.
This is a $3,000 arm. There's no fucking way I'm going to. No, I'm kidding. It's simple. What we're going to do is show 5 videos, show a 15-second commercial. And we're going to start interjecting that, right?
That's a good idea.
And we're not even going to talk about it. We're just going to show five videos, boom, commercial. One will be for coffee, one will be for clothing, one will be to hit up the podcast, one will be, and that's what we're going to have to do. We've got to start promoting ourselves and our merch. It's just the way it is. And that's, I think
And
people,
I could always, put on all the clothes and model it, and you could have me in a commercial.
Yeah, we've already talked about blowing loads. Thank you. We're good.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta go pick Hayden up.
We'll see you in a little
bit.
bit.
So I love you. If you're still back on, I will come back on when I'm back. If not, I will see you all on Monday. Okay, dirty mind. I know where that's going.
Yeah, you saw my face.
Night, y'all.
So good night, and we love you, and you are the best.
I know.
She's fun, isn't she, folks? I know. Okay, leave me alone. Oh, lower. So.
Sorry, puppy.
Marriage really is fun. She's trying very hard. She really is. She's trying to take on more responsibility, and she's been working with AI. She called AI a fucking retard today. So it's funny. My candle. Maybe different couple of items you're selling. Yeah, well, we do promote on the shop. On the show when there's a good shirt. All these ideas are something we do, but you also got to be careful because if you promote too much, people don't like it. Yep, 15 seconds. Yep, I agree. All right. Can you hit the... Where are you going? What do you... Oh, you want to go on the show? Yeah, Mom's light my candle, will you? And light yours on your way by. Yeah, you can come on, dude. Why not? What I mean, that's. No, I just want you to light the one over by me. And then get your headphones on and get in here. We can talk. It's good to have you on. How are the Strohs doing?
Good.
Good. All right, get in here. Ethan is going to join in. Why not? He wants to, so why not? I'm absolutely for it. Yeah. Are you going to take 45 minutes to put those headphones on again?
Most likely.
Okay. Did you want to grab Amy's? They're over there. They're easier.
Yes.
Okay, so see that? Look at Unplug Moms. Isn't that great? You see how I put that in the...
That is so much easier.
Isn't that nice? I drilled headphone outlets into the desk and ran the cables. Sherry says, Matt, your candle is definitely in the wind. Okay, Norma Jean, whatever. I thought and prayed for you both since the news and will continue. Well, thank you. Praying is good. We should always pray. And who my daughter is having dialysis surgery Tuesday. Prayers are appreciated. Joanne, we've been praying since we've heard, and we're not going to stop. We love you. Everybody is. Everybody is. Elizabeth, thank you for your 565. And look at you, all grown up. You actually look somewhat tall.
Yeah.
You're getting big, dude. Mm-hmm. You used to be lower than that mic. Now you got to sit up straight. All right, so we're doing this. We just did a video on ice. I want to show you, like, how do we treat our pizza? We don't have pizza very often. We don't order out. We pick it up.
You guys had pizza like 2 days ago.
No, but order out in the sense of having it delivered.
Oh yeah, no.
No, we don't do a lot of delivery.
Yeah,
you can turn that down like that. See? And then put it close to your mouth. Real close. Like almost on your chin, bud.
Hello?
That's it. So now they can hear you. So we don't deliver pizza here, right? Hey, look, it's Mel. She says, hi, E.
Hi, Mel.
So, but when pizza delivery drivers here, are we nice to them?
Yeah.
We're not rude, right? We say thank you. We tip always, right?
I don't know. I don't deal with the money, but I'm pretty sure you guys do.
Okay, we do. So here is what this guy did to a pizza delivery driver. Now, understand, pizza delivery drivers don't make a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, like when I was growing up, there were some of these guys that make $20-25 an hour, which is good back then. Now, I mean, there's drivers out there that make pretty good money, but it doesn't deserve this. Watch this.
Appreciate it. Peace. Thank you. See, you lucky I'm an honorable black man. I ain't gonna fucking do you like that. I ain't order no goddamn pizza, man. You at the wrong house.
Oh, what's this? 1013 Hell?
Nah, that ain't me. Somebody ordered to the wrong house, goddammit.
All right.
Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, it's mine. I do the TikTok.
People do that, for real.
I'm just playing. Appreciate it. Nah, I ain't lying. It ain't mine. It ain't mine. It ain't mine. Nah, I'm bullshitting. It is. It is mine. I'm just playing, man. I'm gonna leave you alone. It's mine.
At that point, I'm throwing that shit right on the floor. And then
I say throw it at him.
No, I guess he'd get his ass beat because that's a fat white guy, and that black guy would roll him because you can tell that black guy just by how he's holding the phone is probably 6'2", 6'3". But what I would do is I'd throw it on his front porch, whip out my dick, and piss all over it. And then the entire time just whistle Dixie and do that. I mean, seriously, man. I mean, there is a point where people are just going to say enough. And this is why this pizza guy will come back and shoot him. Because people, I mean, you're just degrading this guy. Like, his life isn't hard enough that you need to do this. Right? What do you think? If you had this job, what would you do?
Oh, jeez. If someone did that to me, honestly, even if they did order it, I'd just be like, they said it wasn't theirs, I'd take it.
Yeah, just go.
I wouldn't give it to them.
Yeah,
I would just leave.
Leave. That's great. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Watch this.
All right, bro.
That's $49.78.
Nah, I'm just playing. It ain't mine.
What's in there? Come on, man.
I ain't bullshitting. It ain't mine. You at the wrong house.
Daddy, look, I fixed it.
Yeah, dude. Like the first time, okay, it's kind of funny, you know?
Yeah,
a little bit of a joke.
The guy was laughing, he was smiling. He was like, funny.
He's
Like,
like,
people
people
do
do
that.
that. Right.
Like, and then after like the 5th time, it's not even funny to the person, but like the fact that you're still laughing at that, it's like making the same like poop or fart joke like 5 times in a row. People are going to be like, just be quiet. You're not funny.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't even funny the first time. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, I'd just be like, no tip is worth this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so, and not only that, but you're teaching the kid to do that. You know what I mean? You're teaching that kid to do that, which is unacceptable. It's just not cool. It's not cool. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Yeah, my son paid off his truck by delivering pizzas. I'm not kidding. They can make now $30, $35, $40 an hour. And delivering pizza, gas costs a lot. It's wear and tear in a car. That's the problem. But if you've got the ability and you are in a close town with a lot of proximity that you can hit 5 or 6 houses, put 5 pizzas in the vehicle, hit 5, 6 houses in an hour, you know, average person probably tips, you know, $5. Some people tip 10. That's not a bad living, you know? And plus you get your hourly wage too. So they get that. And a lot of the companies now are paying them mileage. So they get gas money for the mileage that they do. So there's benefits, you know? Not a bad thing. Here's something. See if you can. So do you know what kill death ratio is?
No.
All right. So
I've heard it in video games mainly. Yeah,
right.
shooting video games.
Absolutely. KD
Yeah.
ratio. Yeah. How many kills you have versus how many deaths you have. Well, there's something very similar in war. And what type of ratio do you think war would care about when it came to the deaths?
How many soldiers you've lost and how many soldiers the other people have lost?
Okay, good. And then who else are you concerned about?
Like the enemy, basically.
Well, that is the enemy. So the soldiers you've lost, soldiers they've lost, right? We understand that, but there's another population that's there that aren't soldiers. And
the people that like innocents.
Yeah,
like
the innocents, the civilians, right?
James.
So the ratio of soldiers to civilians. I'm going to have you listen to this, and I want you to listen to the argument and tell me what's wrong with it. Not on the guy defending the Jews saying, listen, the Jews, the amount of soldiers or terrorists they've killed versus civilians. I want you to listen to the other side's argument, and why do they undercut their own argument? They use it to disprove his argument, but it also does what? Listen to this and see what you hear.
Was there a genocide in Fallujah when the United States military was clearing that city in Iraq? Was there one in Al Anbar when the same things were happening? But the amount of civilians killed per enemy combatant killed is lower in Gaza than it was when the United States was doing that. It's the truth.
How do you know, Jim?
Those are
Jim,
facts.
Jim,
even if you take the Gaza Health Ministry facts.
Jim,
go ahead.
Jim, respectfully, Jim, how many civilians have died in Gaza? Because we can't get that.
Nobody
number.
knows for sure because we're taking health ministry. But take the
so
Gaza
how do you
Health
know
Ministry
the ratio? So how do you know? How do you know, Jim? The ratio is the best in modern times. Nobody knows. The ratio is the best.
Take the worst case scenario. Take the lies from the Gaza Health Ministry and do the math from there on how many military-aged males were killed versus how many civilians, and compare that to every other existence of urban combat of which we have direct comparisons. We can do the math, and it's been done.
All right, so why is the argument a fallacy argument?
Because it's not fact. He has nothing to prove. He's saying, well, civilians have died more than soldiers. Where's the proof? Like it's
undercutting his own argument.
He said it best. Like, it's not an argument. It's like fiction. He's
So what type of truth is it? Subjective or objective?
It's subjective.
Yeah, it's subjective. That's correct. It's not an objective fact. So he's right. What you can do is look at, even if they're saying 70,000 people killed, if you do 70,000 people killed, the ratio is 5.71 to 1.6, which means that they kill 5.71 civilians per enemy combatant is what's reported. But when you take military age males, the ratio is like 0.03. It's ridiculously low. And that would be the lowest from World War II, Vietnam. But you can't, because you're making a presumption inside your data. So the logic is flawed because it's subjective based upon information that's not qualified. And you have to have faith and belief as an individual that the health ministry is purporting the right numbers, even though they consistently exaggerate this all the time. So both the other guy's right, because his argument is just take military-age males and compare it to the rest of the wars, World War II, World War I, Fallujah, Iraq, Afghanistan, Russia versus Afghanistan. You can go ahead and look at Crimea, Bosnia-Herzegovina. You can look at the Egyptian Civil War. You can look at the Bali Civil War. You can look at all of this, and the Jews would be dead last as far as military-age males to civilian death ratio. So the whole point of this is they undercut their own argument. So you might be able to say that me saying there isn't a genocide is incorrect, but that also means that you can't say it's a genocide because your data is incorrect. So just because you want there to be a genocide doesn't mean there is. In fact, it falls to me that that other guy is right because he's not declaring that there is no genocide. He's simply saying, because you said it, that you don't have the numbers to support genocide. That doesn't mean one exists, right?
Yes.
Once again, we do this all the time. We do this at the table. We talk about debates and how do you fight and argue someone's point of view. So here's someone that you can break down and tell me what you think of this amazing blue-haired person.
I wonder what they could be.
I don't know.
Please stop voting, because I'm sick and tired of people voting Republican and making this country the laughingstock of the world. America needs to stop putting Republicans in any position in the government. They need to be out of our government altogether, because every time the Republicans make us the laughingstock of the world, they pity Americans. We are a third world country that thinks we're the greatest country in the world. We are great when Democrats are in office, and then we're trash. I mean, our country is literally trailer trash. Time to get the trash out.
Talk about a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I mean, Ethan.
Yes.
Please tell me the characteristics of a third world country.
Small.
Small.
Not a lot of power.
Not a lot of power.
What
about a military?
Small. Not.
What about education?
Bad.
What about irrigation? Running water, clean plumbing.
Not good.
Crops. What about imports and exports? What about having paved roads? Is this a part of, okay. What about having proper medical care?
No.
Okay. What about having state-of-the-art earthquake-resistant buildings?
Nope.
Okay. So a third world country essentially means that the country isn't sustainable without assistance from outside help. And they require a plethora of outside money in order to sustain, because their import and exports are low. Their educational systems, medical, running water, food, all of these type of things aren't sustainable. Some of it's elements, some of it's weather, some of it's geolocation, some of it's because there's atrocities like genocide and there's a drug warlord who keeps coming in and killing all your people, or taking your women and raping them and trying to repopulate your race. There's many things. Or it's just a bunch of Nazis who want to throw you into incinerators and give you some Cyclone B. Whatever it is, it creates a systemic oppression of success from a totalitarian regime. Let me ask you a question. In that situation where you have third world countries because of despotism, people who use their power over others, right? How many parties do you think are in their fractal governments?
One.
Right. The party that's in power.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem with totalitarian governments is this lady is calling for exactly what she says we are, a third world country, by having a single party in power, always in power. That's an oligarch. That's a theocracy. That's a monarchy. That's essentially, there is no ruling class except for the rulers. There's the rulers and the peasants and the elites, and that is what she's calling for. That's how stupid this person is. Go ahead.
It's funny because her argument died as soon as she called us a third world country. Because, like that just said, there's only one party, and she's saying there's two parties first: the Democrats and the Republicans,
right?
Which instantly kills whatever she just said about a third world country.
Right.
It is so stupid.
Well, calling the United States a third world country is absolutely that's just retarded. And I can go from listen, our education system may not be better, but it is better than every single third world country on the planet. Our economy may only take 52% of the people with it, but the 48% of the people who are downtrodden aren't even remotely as unfortunate as a third world country. Can you imagine? I mean, there's people in third world countries that don't have shelter. They don't have clothes. They don't have food. They don't eat for 30 days. Our homeless eat better than that. And even though it's out of a garbage can, there's people in Venezuela who were paying $3,000 in barrels full of cash in order to go through a garbage can. And there were people on the back lots, and the lords and the crime element and the black market would sell the contents of garbage cans to people to generate money. There's some bad spots in the United States, but none of that dictates us as a third world country. Riley says the best, our homeless population are fat. Truly. Yeah. It's interesting. So Mel says if a third world country is sustainable, why are they still so many? We'll take a look at those third world countries and how much money. That's why. Because we pour billions of dollars into these countries, and so do other countries. It's not sustainable, and my point was it's not sustainable because of they require funding for the continued success and the continued at least existence of their lives, but they'll never get out of it. Like, do you think people in Africa are ever going to be able to grow crops? Not unless we have a solar shift and the equator essentially goes 30 degrees to the north or south. It's just not going to happen, which would also bring on a new ice age. California, you'd be skiing in San Diego mountains. Mexico would become a temperate zone. The tropics would probably, God, can you imagine? Texas would be like the new real estate property. The new beachfront property would be Texas, become the new California. Mexico would no longer be an arid desert and move to a semi-tropical zone. But it's not going to happen. But that's what it would require. They're still going to have horrible disease. They're still going to have no imports, exports. They're still going to absolutely require government subsidies. This is the problem. So what should we do? Should we create mass genocide by not funding these people and all these countries die off? Should we just let AIDS take its toll in Africa? No, because it's not what humanitarians should do. But for us to continue to say that we're dumping billions of dollars into these countries and expect a different result from what's happening today, what happened yesterday, and 20 years from now is retarded. There's got to be long-term solutions. And how about this? Mass migration of these people leaving the country, legally coming to the United States, the top 2% of their people, will they ever get better when the top 2% of their people come to the United States to get educated and live here? No. Because what happens is that for those other countries, they flock in, and whatever benefit they have, it's ultimately taken by mass immigration, which creates another draw on their economy. And it overpopulates the area, food becomes scarce, and what happens? Well, death and crime start. And this is what you're seeing perpetually in Africa. This is what you're seeing in Zaire. This is what you're seeing in South America. Is the top 2% leave, come to the United States or Europe, and come legally. And the most educated and bright minds have left. Well, how can your country excel when the top 2% of your most smartest and brightest come here? It doesn't help at all, does it?
No.
No, it doesn't. You probably haven't seen this video. We should show it to you. This is a really good one. You'll like this video. My Okay, be quiet. AI guy. AI guy. You'll find this really enjoyable. So will everybody else. All right, take a listen.
Some people say that mass immigration into the United States can help reduce world poverty. Is that true? Well, no, it's not. And let me show you why. This gumball represents the 1 million legal immigrants that the United States has taken every year on average since 1990. Now, who in the world deserves our humanitarian compassion? The World Bank has one measure of the desperately poor of the world. They make less than $2 a day. And how many people make less than $2 a day in the world? Well, let's start with Africa. In Africa alone, there are 650 million people who make less than $2 a day. 650 million. And in India, another 890 million people, desperately poor. China adds another 480 million people, making less than $2 a day. And unfortunately, the rest of Asia has a heartbreaking 810 million people who the World Bank says make less than $2 a day. And finally, there's 105 million of Latin America's population that are desperately poor. All told, the World Bank says there are 3 billion people in the world, 3 billion people who are desperately poor, making less than $2 a day. That's 3,000 gumballs. And every year, we take 1 million and suggest that we've somehow made a humanitarian difference. Of course, we don't pull our immigrants from these desperately poor populations, do we? These people are too poor, too sick, too disconnected to make it here as immigrants. We tend to pull our immigrants out of the better off poor of the world. And Mexico tends to define the type of immigrant that we bring here because the plurality of people come from Mexico. And Mexico is poor. How many people in the world live in countries that have average incomes lower than that of Mexico? And the World Bank tells us that that number is these 3 billion plus another 2.6 billion people.
If this doesn't show you how fortunate you are to have won the lottery by being born in the United States, and on top of that, this family, nothing will. You understand?
Yeah.
Do you understand that for one micro fraction of the donations we get every night, if you just doubled that for these families, what that would mean for their lives and survival? And this is why when you come to me and say, can I have $10? I literally tell you how I walked up the hill both ways in the snow in bare feet and I ate dirt and we liked it. Bill Cosby, right? Because you just don't understand what the value of our money is.
6 billion people in the world who live in countries with average incomes below that of Mexico. That's 5,600 gumballs. And so what is it that the elites are telling us? They're telling us that when we take this 1 million immigrants, that we somehow or another are tackling world poverty. And we have to do it regardless of the effect on our unemployed, the working poor, the most vulnerable members of our society, regardless of the effect on our natural resources. Even if we went by the most radical proposals in Washington, which are to actually double our immigration to 2 million a year, which would totally overwhelm our physical, natural, and social infrastructures, we couldn't make a noticeable difference. And we may be really hurting the impoverished people of the world because the million that we do take are among the most energetic, often the better educated, certainly the most dissatisfied people that if they did not immigrate would be the agents for change to improve the lot of all the people in these countries. The true heroes in the global humanitarian field are the people in these countries who have the wherewithal to immigrate to another country, but instead stay in their countries, to apply their skills to help their fellow countrymen. Unfortunately, our immigration system tends to entice these very type of people to abandon their countrymen. The impossibility of making even a dent is actually worse than it looks here.
Watch this.
Because last year, when we took 1 million immigrants, these countries added, births over deaths, 80 million more people into the impoverished population. And this year, Congress is bringing in 1 million legal immigrants. And this year, according to the United Nations, these countries are expected to add another 80 million people. And next year, you can be quite sure that Congress, unless stopped by the American voters, will bring in another 1 million immigrants. And these countries, unfortunately, will be adding another 80 million people into these impoverished nations. We could take 5 million a year, but we'd never get ahead of what's happening in these countries, not in this century. Don't you see? Immigration can never be an effective or significant way to deal with the suffering people of the world. They have to be helped where they live. 99.9% of them will never be able to immigrate to a rich country. There's no hope for that. They have to bloom where they're planted. The only place that 99.9% of these people can be helped is where they live. Let's help them there.
Pretty powerful, huh?
Yeah, geez, that's like the best way to explain it.
Yeah, talk about, like, we talked about boiling the ocean earlier on the show. It's like trying to drain the ocean with a pail of water. And to the person, you're making a significant difference, but to the ocean, they don't give a shit. You know what I mean? It has little to no effect. Folks, we're still accepting donations. Looks like we hit our goal in overtime, and we're sitting at $395.65. Thank you so much for that. We're going to just show you 2 videos real quick, and then we're going to get the hell out of here. Kamala Harris, the woman who covered up for Joe Biden for 4 years, lied and said that he was one of the most energetic and astute presidents she's ever seen. Joe's so smart. Joe is just the smartest. What, dude? You say that's not true?
No.
Yeah, I miss Joe Biden because I just missed the comical error. But this was Kamala's claim to fame, if you remember.
I love Venn diagrams. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those 3 circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right? Yeah, I see people that you agree with me, right?
We did it, Joe.
How dare you?
So here's Kamala Harris.
The yellow school buses.
Yeah, that's like yellow school buses.
She said that.
I know.
The Electoral College. We need to revisit the point of expanding the court to 13 justices like we have 13 district courts. We need to revisit, if they so want, statehood for Puerto Rico and D.C.
Jeez, why?
If we regain control of the Senate. I served on this committee, the Senate Judiciary Committee, when I was in the Senate. Only the second black woman elected to the United States Senate.
You're not black, lady.
And the Senate Judiciary Committee has the power to create rules for its committee that don't have to go to the whole Senate for a vote and worry about filibuster and all.
All right, Ethan, why do we have a Senate? All right, let's try something.
Taking civics this year.
How many? Okay, that's fine. How many in total senators per state?
Isn't it 2?
It's 2. That's
Yeah,
correct.
It's 102 for each state. I do know that.
Correct. So it's 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. What else? Is it based on population?
No.
No, because if every state gets 2, it's not based on population. What part of branch of government is Congress? How many branches of government are there?
There's 3.
There's 3. What are they? Name them.
Is it legislation?
Legislative. Yep.
Legislative. Ooh.
Come on.
I got this.
So I'll give you a hint.
Mm-hmm.
They interpret the laws is 1. They execute the laws is 2. And they write the laws is 3. You've already got the write the laws, which is legislative. What's the second? It's where the president is. It's where the Department of Justice is. It's where the DOD is, the Department of Defense.
I know this.
Okay, so if you write the laws and then you find if the laws are constitutional, somebody has to do what with the laws? Yeah, just go ahead. Just say the first thing that comes to your mind. Don't read the comments. Shut up, people.
I'm not reading the
Nobody's
comments.
asking you.
I'm not reading. No.
He's asking you, people.
Yeah,
so,
I'm not.
Okay, buddy, if a cop comes to the door, he's doing what? He's going to enforce the law.
Mm-hmm.
That's the executive branch. Okay?
Okay.
So now you got 3 branches of government. Congress is made up of what? I just told you a second ago.
3 branches.
No. Congress is made up of the legislative portion, which are the state legislators, and then where there's 2 in each state. You're spinning. Senate.
Congress.
Senate. Congress is Senate.
Mm-hmm.
And the House. Got it? That's
Yes.
Congress. Okay. So if every state has 2 senators, why?
Is it 1 for each party?
Nope. You can have 2 Democrats as senators. Why would you ensure that every single state has 2 senators? Shut up, people. Let me ask you a question, Ethan. What's the 10th Amendment? Okay, so I'm going to help you.
Yeah.
Reserve powers to the states. What does it mean?
Every state is equal.
Close enough. But essentially, that if something is not unified or something is not qualified or clarified by all the states, well, you can't have that because they knew that all the states wouldn't agree. So you need how many of the states to agree in order to make an amendment?
You need a majority.
Which would be what type of majority? A simple majority? No.
No.
What's the fraction?
A 60-40, maybe?
Yeah, give me the fraction of a 60-40. Break it down to its lowest common.
Oh, jeez. Come on, math.
It would actually be a 66-34 out of
66.
Yeah, but what's the fraction?
6 out of 10.
2. No, you can.
Oh no, 2/3.
2/3.
Jeez.
And what about? So that's it's okay.
I'm good at math
just
too.
Shut up. 2/3 to order to codify an amendment. And what about to remove an amendment or alter an amendment or take an amendment away? You need a what majority?
A 3/5.
That's called a supermajority, right?
You told me this a week ago.
I know,
remember
but
that.
you remembered half of it, which is another fraction. Okay, so if that's true and all states are what?
Equal,
the 10th Amendment makes it that way because the reserve powers say that if the federal government does not get to impose its will against the states unless the states agree from a 2/3 majority and pass a constitutional amendment. Federal can't go ahead and do that. Now, federal has certain rules and regulations that are national because they're tied to other types of rules. But essentially, you need a majority opinion to do that. So why do we need the Senate? Because the House is based on population. You get a certain amount of seats, 731,000 seats equal a Senate seat. California gets like 42 different state legislatures because it's a giant shithole. Texas gets a lot. New York gets a lot. Florida gets a lot. But in Wyoming, how many state legislatures do they get?
Not a lot.
I mean, it's like 1. But do they get 1 senator?
Yes.
No. How many senators per state? We just said it. How many senators?
2.
2. Every state gets 2, Ethan. Why? You said it. Because every state gets...
every state is equal, basically.
Every state is equal, no matter the population. It's not necessarily in the House. It's still based on population, but every state gets a voice. And that's what the Senate does. So why do you think Democrats want to go ahead and absolve these states? How many red states are there versus blue states, do you think? Take a guess.
I know that there's more, but...
There's a shit ton more.
Yeah, there's...
It's like 36 red states for 14 blue states. Why do you think the Democrats want to get rid of the Senate, son?
Because Republicans overpower Democrats.
From a state perspective, and they'll never get a 2/3 majority to change our Constitution. They know this, so they want to expand the Senate. They want to make Washington, D.C., Puerto Rico, the D.R., states, give them representation. And then we also know that these are Latin America areas, and Washington, D.C. is heavily Democratic, and that will throw the balance in favor of Democrats to have those additional votes. So that's why. Make sense?
Yes.
Why do they want to expand the districts in the districts for 13 judges versus 9? What districts do you think, what color those districts are that they want to expand?
Blue.
Blue. Which then gives them power of the judicial branch. They want to change the Constitution. They want to do away with the Electoral College. Why? Why would you have an Electoral College for President of the United States but not everywhere else? Why do you vote based on population and overall the popular vote in every election except for the presidential election? Now think, son. What's his title?
The President of the United States. Like,
what's the key word in that? Think. President of the United States. What's the key word in that?
President?
You said it. All states are
equal.
So the President of the United States vote has to be
equal,
which is what the Electoral College does. Every state gets a voice on the president based upon their population. They get an electoral vote. Do you understand?
Yes.
And all states are winner take all except for 2 states. Everyone gives their electoral votes to the winner of that vote except for these 2 states. And those 2 states are? Give me one of them.
Texas.
You're such a dipshit. No, Maine and Nebraska.
Maine.
You never would have guessed it. But now you understand why the Electoral College they want to go after. So here's the last thing. Is the president of the people? You hear that all the time. He's the president of the people. Is he?
No.
No. Who's the president of the people? Do you know? We have 50 of them.
Come
on. Gubernatorial, which is also known as it was Governor Youngkin. Governors.
Yeah, governors.
The governors are the president of the states. The state, individual state. They have full control, and they actually have powers very similar to a president inside. They control the military. They control the financing. They can go ahead and remove people by enforcing the laws. The governor is like the president of the state. So the president is the president of whom?
It's the president of the states.
Which is the president of the
governors.
Governors. He absolutely is. And he is a mouthpiece for the federal government to discuss and talk business with the states. This is why governors constantly are visiting with the president of the United States, because he is the federal government representing in the best interests of the federal government through the states, which then uses the governors to go ahead and convey that information to the people. So when he's called the president of the United States, he actually shouldn't. It should have been the president of the governors. And the governors are the president of the states. But they don't have federal power, they have state power. And they want to do away with that too. Because they want to do the popular vote. And Virginia just passed a law that says the popular vote here, they will give all the electoral votes to the president who wins, or the person who wins the popular vote in Virginia, their electoral votes. That's illegal. It's going to get overturned. But they just voted for that. And that's what Democrats want to do. They want to ensure that your voice is stopped. And that a winner take all is not based upon who won the electoral college, but who won the popular vote? And who pretty much always wins the popular vote in presidential elections? Democrats, because they control the big cities, the most densely populated areas. But if you look at California and you look at the 50 states and you look at all these cities, they are so densely populated blue in very small areas like Los Angeles, San Francisco, in Dallas, in Houston. But you look at the rest of the area, it's all red. And if you look at a map of the United States, it is pretty much all red minus these small, tiny pockets of inner cities where they have African Americans and Latins, people who are literally starving to get out of these hellholes. And Democrats have ran them for 75 years. 47 out of the 50 most violent states are democratically ran. And those are the voting plantations for the Democratic Party. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
But you're okay. You got it. You're not a stupid kid. I'll quiz you tomorrow. Give us last word, buddy.
Oh,
Canada's cooked. Kirby Sharrock says Canada's cooked. It certainly is. Canada's in some serious problems. Matt, you talk to E just like I talked to Connor. Boy, you're smart as hell. You just think too hard. Ethan's wicked smart. He just needs to unlock it. He's learning. He's doing much better. Dad had to lay the gauntlet down, but we're in a good spot, right, bud?
Yeah.
Get pounded, G. All right, buddy. Listen, you get to tell everybody who's coming.
Ooh, yippee.
So, yeah, go ahead and hit that up, and then we're going to get the hell out of here because it's been a long weekend. We need a long weekend.
Okay.
It's right there in front of you, dipshit.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, you want the drum roll?
Okay.
Hold on. I don't even know if I have it. Okay.
Okay.
Just go to Tyler Fisher first.
Yeah. Tyler Fisher. I'm going to be on that show. I'm going to be with Dad, and that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Then August 7th, Damani Felder, good friend of ours.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop in and say hi to him. August 12th, Wednesday, Hannah Puda.
Mm-hmm.
August 19th, Wednesday, Ben Muggin.
Yeah, it's Tonto's distributor for his Tonto vodka. They're sending us a signed bottle of Tonto vodka. It should be here in the next few days. Get this one right.
Ooh.
Mom said hamburger hilliker earlier.
Okay.
Amber
Hilliker on
How hard
August.
is that?
It's not really not.
For the Amber May show. She'll be here.
Amber Hilliker on August 25th, Tuesday.
Yeah. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
So she'll be here, and that should be a great show. Also, we are in the process of getting Cole Hauser from Yellowstone as a very big possibility. We've also got Chad Brather booked. He's going to be coming to the show. We have a lot of good stuff coming. Listen, I want you all to have a great weekend. Thanks for entertaining Ethan and I until 10 o'clock tonight. We appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do that. If you haven't been to our pages, go to our page and just hit the like button. Those little tiny likes, you might think it's not a big deal, but it makes a difference. If you guys interact and see a video and just hit that like button. Also, if you hit it here, it's nice to see that we've got about 119 viewers, and we are a little short on likes. So if you could do me a favor and spam that like button before you leave. We are going to be going over to, I don't know, where the hell are we going? Where are we going? Fudge. Oh. Yes, TV Green. Listen, Tammy, I think Olivia is getting your emails. Yes, I'll ask her. Facebook isn't viewer interactive on lives anymore because many people can no longer see the comments. Facebook sucks. We just need to keep pushing people to other channels. Connor is so scared to be wrong, he thinks himself out of the right answer sometimes. Yeah, you need to teach Connor the lesson of when you're wrong, you ultimately have an opportunity to correct it and be right. It's pretty easy. We are going to... Who the hell are we going to? Where are we going? Tam? I don't know where we're going. Tammy, send Olivia a Facebook message. I don't know where we're going. Just send us there. Send us there. We'll figure it out. Ship us out.
Onward.
Onward and to bigger and better things. We always go ahead and hang out for a few seconds and go over to Rumble and find out where we're going once Tammy lets us know.
Oh, Coming to America is a good movie.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I really liked it. Oh, hey, we're going to Rating Off Label Podcast. All right, I'm going to end the stream. See you guys over on Rumble. We'll see you. Boom, you're done.
See ya.
And now, Rating Off Label Podcast. The Off Label Podcast. I think we've been here before. Oh, yeah, these guys like us.
Hold on. I've also said this many times on Off Label. Why in the hell would I send even one single bullet over your way to attack you when you let my army in with open arms and you fund them to give them everything?
JD says, E, good to see you.
It's crazy.
Thank you.
It's insane.
Hi, JD.
It's insane.
Go ahead. Where was... Oh, I got one. And now I don't want to. But apparently, things have gotten real violent in there. I saw a video.
Yeah, super violent.
Yeah, all right, those guys are focused on their show. That's fine. Good to see them over there. I threw them a like because that's the right thing to do. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. E, say good night, buddy.
Good night, everyone. Love you all.
See you guys on Wednesday night and Monday night. We got a busy week, so we'll see ya.
See you guys on August 1st.
See ya.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.